Good morning, guys. So for the sake of the live in this video, it does happen to be live, yeah. And we will answer questions, but I feel like I've got this repetitive attack that other channels use against me. And it may have been because of that debate that I had with the Node Network. I came at them with the heaviest stuff about why cryptography was created. And it's almost like now the Node Network is trying to use that against me and say that all I talk about is speculation and the stars and Satan's coin. They missed the entire message. And I know why. I know why David and Mike cannot see or hear what I'm talking about. And I understand this is a spiritual movement, guys. I understand that there is people like us and like you watching that were chosen for this great wealth transfer. And I'm going to explain why you were chosen for this great wealth transfer. It is not all fun and games, unfortunately. We have a lot of fun on the channel. And what it comes down to is it's like I figured out why the Node Network can't see it. And I just want to explain to you guys because when I was on their channel, look, I've heard everything that you could possibly hear about crypto. I've heard everything that you can possibly hear about these projects. I've heard everything that you can possibly hear about Ripple and XRP. So when they come out and say that all I want to talk about and debate is smoke signals and conspiracy and the stars, I was like, that's what you got from what I said? That's what you got from what I said. Because they were hoping that I would come in and play on their level. And this whole cryptography space, guys, from Canton to XRP to Bitcoin to Quant to HBAR to XDC to Flare to this is one of the largest and most complex ecosystems ever created in the history of mankind. And you can go, it's like you got the whole world's your oyster for this space, and you can figure it out. You can do deep dives or not, and then what it seems like 90+% of crypto channels want to do is tunnel vision. Right when they open the door to this crypto space, they have a little play set at the front. And what the New World Order elites are hoping that you'll do is you'll come in the door. And rather than explore the rest of the space, rather than go and explore what their true plan is for cryptography, they get Mike and David that come in and they like, David's like, oh my gosh, I love Canton, man. Look at the way they put these holes in it. So symmetrical. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Look at Cass. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look, Cass. Look, oh my gosh. Look how they do this. Oh, look at this. Look at this trifecta, guys. Got the value protocol. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. When you have the whole rest of the space to explore. And so I saw the kiddie pool at first. I saw the distraction. I saw the distraction of DeFi. I saw that they made this and designs this for you, the people, to get stuck and tunnel vision on. And guess who bought a hook, line, and sinker? David and Mike from the Node Network. This is what they like to talk about. It's why, honestly, I believe their channel doesn't get as many views as it could. Because somebody's super interested in Canton may come on and then not be interested in Cass. And so if they're not interested in Cass, then they're going to leave. And if they come in and then they're talking about Arrow or something like that, and no one's interested in Arrow, their views go down. So, and they are trying to figure this out. And, to give David credit, he's done a great job of figuring out tokenomics. He's done a great job of figuring out, their value capture and all this other stuff. But it's all designed. It's a play set for retail. And so when I come on here and I debate them and I steamroll them, it's because I'm not. That can go fuck itself. I'm not out here playing games with DeFi. I saw through their distractions the second I entered this space. I was 2 weeks in before I realized, yeah, I could spend thousands of hours and research why the technology works and research how the tokenomics and stuff like that and research like which ones currently benefit retail the most. I could have done that. But that was a waste of time, guys. And I'm sorry to say, like, I like David and Mike, and this is not all about the Node network, but it's everyone. It's a 90% of crypto channels. When I was trying to get that guy, I forget his name because his name is so long and dumb. I've been trying to get other crypto channels onto the channel, and some of them, they won't come on because they think that this is just all conspiracy. That's the most important part of it. But it doesn't mean I don't understand XRP and Ripple and what they're doing and integrating and stuff like that. But I didn't decide to get in this space to research why XRP works. Do you want to know whose job that was? Do you want to know whose job it was to figure out the tokenomics of cryptography and XRP? David Schwartz. No, I'm never going to know as much as David Schwartz about the XRP ledger, but I trust him to be able to handle creating that and producing that or decoding it and integrating it into Ripple. And then what did he say? He comes out and he says to Ripple, he says, Ripple's number one responsibility is to distribute the XRP he created and mastered correctly. And then all David and Mike want to do is come back to this and just sit there and think like, well, what did they create? Well, what did Canton create? Well, how does their trifecta work with this coin here? How does their trifecta work? Just like throw the fucking stupid little game away, guys. Because that's why I say this is not a game. I entered this space and I realized very quick this was a much bigger plan than just whatever little tokenomics and DeFi and trifecta you could look up. And so, yeah, they're wasting their time talking about building dApps on this network, building this on that, and all this other stuff, saying like, rather than trying to figure out why XRP Army is warning everyone that XRP is going to go to a very high price, they'd rather spend more time researching and playing with that little game set and dismissing the fact that XRP could be a possibility, let alone the whole pre-planned event. And so rather than like walk and wander around the entire ecosystem of crypto and then like me, you know, I must have looked fucking crazy because visually, while everyone else, like all 90% of other crypto channels are all over here playing with these toys. This is how I see all other crypto channels, 90% of them. They're like over here, like in the corner, like, how does this crypto work? How does this crypto fit in with this? How does this? And then to them, I look crazy because I'm over here digging as deep as I can, and I've got like a 400-foot hole down here digging. They don't even know why I'm digging. They say they do deep dives, but then every single live I see of theirs and other crypto channels, all they want to talk about is the Clarity Act. All they want to talk about is tokenomics. All they wanted to completely missing the fact that God has chosen some people for one great wealth transfer, and they intend to use one ledger. How do I know that? How could I possibly know that? Because I didn't spend hours wasting my time playing with the little game they hand you when you went to the party of crypto. I skipped right past that. I was like, what the fuck is this? What am I ever going to do with that? And I threw it aside. And I went looking for the real players. I went looking for the real purpose. I went asking people all throughout the crypto community, trying to figure out what this is all about. And you want to know what? After like a month or two, I saw their plan. I was like, oh shit, this is way bigger than crypto. This is way bigger than DeFi. DeFi is what they call it. Crypto is what they call it. But this is bigger than that. It would be like if the New World Order had come out and invented like a new extremely powerful laser gun, which they already have. But for the metaphor's sake, it would be as if the New World Order had come out and like, we've created this really cool technology. We've got this giant laser gun that can blow up the moon and you can hold it in your hands. And the node network would be like, I wonder how we could use that technology to build a toaster. That's literally how I see them. So you got this brand new high-tech financial weapon that came out, and rather than figure out how the weapon works, Just understand that they're going to power it on. They're going to power it on. You know, it doesn't matter how it works. Of course it works. You've seen it work. You've seen it work at low operating levels. You've seen it blow up small objects. You've seen how advanced the technology is. But then they look at that and they hear someone come on and telling them all this, and they look at that and they go, yeah, but what about Canton? What the fuck, Canton? I don't care about the CEO of Canton. I give a much about the CEO of Canton as I give a flying fuck about the CEO of Chick-fil-A. Equal importance in the grand scheme, okay? There are people who created businesses, but they're not the ones that are backing this one world wealth transfer. They're not the ones that are backing this global elite plan for one world reserve currency. And so when I go on their live and I'm trying to communicate with them and tell them real things going on, tell them real facts, they just always go back to like, well, you know, you're more conspiracy and you're more. Yes, I talk about the conspiracies because someone has to. But I've also seen every single other fucking part of their game plan. I've seen Ripple's moves. I've seen their. And then for you or anyone watching this channel to not be able to see that XRP and Ripple are going to work in synchronicity, and that even Brad Garlinghouse comes out and he says, and he looks like on his face, he's like, I can't tell why people still ask us if we're going to use XRP. They're like, we're the largest holder of XRP. And he laughs. He says, we're the largest holder of XRP. Why do you think they're the largest holder of XRP and not Canton? Why do you think they're the largest holder of XRP and not XDC? Why do you think that they're the largest holder of XRP and not XLM? Because they intend to use the ledger they created. And by they, I mean David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse, all the higher up elites, all of them. They're all backing this project, and you can see it everywhere you look. But you're never going to see it. You're never going to see it if we walk in the door to crypto and you get stuck with the little game they hand you at the beginning, the party package. They hand you a little party package when you walk in the door for crypto to distract you from ever seeing their true plan. And am I the only one that can see it? I know that there's tons of other people on my channel that can see it. They flock to this channel because it's like, wait, somebody else sees this too. It's not just me. We're not just crazy. Interesting. And then you want to take it a step further. And the reason I made this video, the reason that I titled it the way that I did, and I'll get to questions at the end of this video. But I got to say this. There are hundreds, if not thousands of people I have encountered through YouTube, X, Reddit, my family, friends of people, random people that I meet that were already chosen to hold XRP, and they didn't even know why. I told you guys, I'm going to have my mom on the channel sometime because she's a devout woman of God, and she will tell you about Jesus, and she is amazing. And even she saw it for what it was. And her friends, she went to go tell her friend about XRP, and her friend was like, oh yeah, God told me I was supposed to buy something like XRP. I just didn't know what it was or how to get it. So I told God, if you want me to hold some, then you need to send me someone that can help me get some. And a week later, my mom calls her up and explains it to her and helps her get some. So, I mean, guys, this is not all about, you know, DeFi. This is not all about how the tokenomics. This is not all about the technology. You got to know they have a brand new financial weapon that they're about to power on, and it doesn't matter how it works. Would it matter? I mean, other than the sake of like they found the secret of how to blow up the Death Star, would it matter to Rebel Alliance how the Death Star blows up planets? Or do they need to know, more importantly, that it can blow up planets? So that is why I haven't wasted much of my time. I, of course, throughout listening to all the dry videos and all the positive videos about crypto, you hear how all these technologies work, and it's fascinating, cool. But it's far less fascinating than what they intend to do with it. So I wanted to watch a video with you guys today, and I'll try to get to some of the comments like while I'm, you know, watching this video with you guys. But please hear me in this video, guys. This is not me trying to get attention. I think some people have tried to say like, oh, Chris just needs attention. Like, you know, when I'm on the other channel, like, you know, trying to get like a debate going with someone else because people need to hear this message. Like, oh, Chris needs attention. I don't need attention, guys. I have an insanely gorgeous wife. I have an awesome life. I have a business that I love. I have a YouTube family that I love. If I ever need attention, I could go to any one of those. I have beautiful kids. I got a beautiful family, friends, guys. I have an awesome life. So it's like, no, I don't need attention. The reason I'm screaming this from the rooftops and risking all that is because of how convicted I am that this is going to happen and they're going to use it against you. If they end up not winning and they don't use it against us, great. We all win anyways. But I'm trying to tell you what their plan is and what's going to happen and come upon this earth. And I'm letting you know it's not all going to be like a bed of roses. It will be really cool to be wealthy for the first time in your life. If it is your first time being wealthy, it'll be really cool. It'll be really empowering. But I'll tell you this much. If God sent someone to you and said, we're going to give you Captain America's like super genetic modified like super serum to make you as strong as Captain America, you would probably want to ask God why. Like, why are you going to make me so randomly powerful? And then watch all the stuff Captain America goes through. And I look at it like the eyes of my channel. Like through the eyes of my channel, I look at it and I'm like, wait, why would God have had me deep dive all those conspiracy theories for 16 years for it to affect no one? I always wondered that. I was like, why am I doing all these deep dives for 16 years? And I don't think it's going to affect anyone. Who am I going to tell? And whoever I have told hasn't believed me. And then here we come. 16 years later, God goes, oh yeah, I need your final deep dive to be XRP. And I was like, you got it. And I launched my ADHD brain that he gave me and attacked XRP and crypto with a fury you guys have not been able to comprehend. And that's just me being honest. It is like my assignment was that. And he knew that I'd be able to connect all the dots from the 16 years of deep dive research I'd done to know instantaneously, and then convicted me further to continue to do research even after I'd figured it out, because figuring it out wasn't enough. Being able to come on to a space as vast as YouTube and steamroll punks like the Node Network so that a few more people might see this for what it is was what God designed me to be for this one time, this one purpose on YouTube. And honestly, our community has grown into something that's so great that post-price appreciation, it'll be a fantastic community to share with, XRP family. And only we will have known what we've seen. Only we will have known what happened. And only we will be able to truly understand what this responsibility and what this great wealth transfer is. So I think a lot of the reason that people cannot catch what XRP is doing, what Ripple is doing, and how it's behind the scenes and how it's going to be the one is because they don't want to believe that. The same way they don't want to believe that the fallen angels fell and hit Earth and are running things behind the scenes in a way against you because they hate you. They don't want to understand that the C19 event was all pre-planned and they released it so that they could come out with their solution and give you some medicine that was actually detrimental to your health. They don't want to believe that the fallen angels mated with women and created Nephilim, giants that walked the earth in the days of Noah and are still around to this day. They're just hiding. And they're anywhere between 8 to 40 feet tall giants. So I just watched the movie The Odyssey. If you guys want to know something, because I wrote in the description, you guys don't want to know what I know. Deep down inside, I know half the stuff I know you don't want to know. And I won't tell you on this channel because this is about XRP and crypto and people not missing the wealth transfer. But I will say this. Mark my words. They have now predictive programmed 2 different sets of giants in the movie The Odyssey. And they use movies to predictive program for people. You will see giants in your lifetime. And that is besides the point because this is a channel about XRP and crypto. But this XRP and Ripple going to $100,000 per coin is not the weirdest thing you'll ever see on this planet. So before it happens, capture it, because when that kind of crazy stuff does happen and come upon the earth, you will be more armed. Do you want to be unarmed during this great spiritual war coming? We are in spiritual warfare right now. We've been in spiritual warfare forever. You are in spiritual warfare right now. God is looking to you and saying, I want to arm you financially. Are you listening? Do you hear the call? Am I the only one that hears this call? I didn't even intend for this video to be a rant. I was just going to go on and explain how David and Mike are always playing in the kiddie pool at the Node Network because they're so distracted with the technology. They wanted you to be distracted with that. They don't want you to know all their plans. They don't want you to know how they're going to power this thing on. They don't want you to know that there's only one coin they intended to use. And if 10 or 12 survive, Cool. But that's not the point. So I want you guys to understand the reason I created this channel was to help new people understand it. And it has evolved into something to where I think God had a greater purpose for me to explain to even the veterans in this space, even the advanced people like Mike and David that understand DeFi. Possibly they understand DeFi better than I do because they've been playing with it for like years, completely missing the whole point. Why is this toy here for me to play with? I wonder if there's a bigger purpose for this. Oh, well, back to my toy. That's their thought process. That's their deep dive. And so when I tell you guys that they're playing with toys, and then when they say they're doing a deep dive, they're getting to the bottom of this peg. And I have thrown the board away. And I'm deep diving 400 feet under the earth, trying to find this information for you guys. So no, I don't care about DeFi and how it works. I know that it does work. That's all I needed to know. That's all I ever needed to figure out. So I figured that out and moved on with my life and went to the bigger, more important things so I could become easy XRP to share this information with you guys. So let me play this video that I want to share with you guys because I need you guys to understand. You all were chosen for this moment. If you're watching this video and you're vibing with anything I'm saying, you were chosen for this moment. Now that is not an understatement. That is not a small thing I just said. The Lord Almighty, God, the creator of this world, the creator of this universe, the creator of you, who knows you better than you'll ever understand yourself, chose you for this great wealth transfer. And he doesn't want you to be distracted because something is coming. Multiple things are coming. And he's been telling people, he's been warning people, and for those that have the spiritual ears open to hear, you will become insanely wealthy and you will use it as armor to fight against all the bullshit coming our way. So let me play this video for you guys here real quick because it's very important to cover these things because I feel like it's its own version of hopium. It's like it's going to get so dark and bad that of course XRP is going to be powered on. And therefore that's like inverse hopium. Like, oh, we're fucked, but we're going to be rich. It's inverse hopium, guys. So let me explain to you and show you guys what I mean. So I'm going to share this guy with you that I found. And you guys got to understand that we are in spiritual warfare. We are in financial warfare, spiritual warfare, physical warfare. You'll see it all in your lifetime. You were chosen for this moment. And God built you for this. So if you're afraid, God did not give you that spirit of fear. So let me show you this video here, and it is called The Wealth Transfer Tragedies. And the reason you need to know this stuff is this stuff is coming, and it's coming during a period in time in which you will become incredibly wealthy. This, not just this, but this video explains a lot as to part of the reason why God needs you to be wealthy in his kingdom to serve his purpose during this period of time.
Make, but I know I have to be obedient to the Lord of what he showed me, and it's very serious for the wealth transfer community to understand the weight of this assignment and the vision that I saw, and then the prophetic word to go along with the vision and understanding what is coming. The weight of this is tremendous, and I hope you can feel it in my spirit as I'm sharing it. You know, we are one of the biggest wealth transfer communities on YouTube, and I take this role very seriously, and I'm honored that the Lord has placed us here, where thousands of people hear these messages, guys. And I would just encourage you to like this video, hype the video, because people have to hear this vision and what God said. Please hear me. You have to tell people what the Lord is saying. Now you take it back to the Lord and pray for yourself. Was this vision from the Lord? Absolutely do that. But I'm telling you, people need to hear what God showed me. Now, before I get into the vision and the prophetic word that came with it about the wealth transfer and what happens after that, I want to rejoice on the things because God is in control and God is doing amazing things all throughout the earth. And we have been feeding these kids in Africa every Friday. And we just got the most recent feeding from Friday. And I just want to share that with you because so many of you guys support it.
Here we are just before the feeding. Thank you, Evangelist David.
One thing to note is he's doing the Lord's work over there. And the XRP army was chosen, you know, and there's people that hold physical silver and stuff too. There's like, you know, 5 different assets that God's going to use during this wealth transfer. XRP is one of them. And there's one I feel convicted to hold. And God said that some people would hold 5, some people would hold 1. I was chosen to hold XRP. But this guy here is doing the Lord's work over here. And this is the kind of stuff XRP Army is going to be a part of. Feeding the hungry, you know, taking care of people who are lost, you know, helping out the homeless and stuff like that. And so during this great revival, there's going to be so many new, powerful, wealthy people that always had the heart and spirit for it, but didn't have the finances. And God's about to change all that because he's got a bigger plan than Mike and David at the Node Network can understand.
And Jen, next, for doing what you do every Friday now, hallelujah, for these beautiful people of Malawi, supplying them with this absolutely delicious meal. Rice, beans, and cabbage. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. So this is just moments before. We'll come back and show all of you Gen Next partners how it is when we.
So we're feeding those kids every Friday, and we've been doing it for a while now. We want to continue to do that, guys. We are going there in less than a month, and we're planting a church and all those sorts of things, and they've actually chosen the pastor. So there's a lot of exciting things that you'll be seeing here on the channel. If you want to help us in our Malawi missions, so into feeding the kids and the church that we're building and all that stuff, please pray about sowing a seed. The link is in the description below. Now, I just have to be honest with what I'm going to share, and we're going to share a scripture because it's important. Okay.
Pressure washer companies spent billions making sure you never discover what I'm about to show you about your garden hose. And I just tested a strange $39 nozzle.
1 Corinthians 13:9. Now our knowledge is partial and incomplete, and even the gift of prophecy reveals only part of the whole picture. I'm going to share exactly what I've seen in this vision and what I believe the Lord was telling me about the vision, and 10 tragedies that will be taking place after the wealth transfer. Okay. It's very specific what I saw, and I was just praying, man, soaking in the presence of the Lord. And like I said, I went into a vision, and I'm just going to tell you what I saw. I wrote it all down because I believe that the details are important. And like I said, you need to pray about what I saw in this vision. Okay, so and I created some images. Obviously, they're not exactly what I saw, but I want it to hit your spirit about like what I was seeing, because it had such an impact on me. So I'm going to try to bring the vision, with some images to the best of my ability alive for you, so you can kind of see what I was seeing. So, I just want to pray because it's very important.
I just want to add for my channel so that people understand, like watching this video, we won't do a ton of videos like this where like we bring on like another channel that we don't even know and talk with and communicate with. But I needed, for the sake of this message I'm creating in this video, this live, to share this message so that you guys could see why it goes like 10 levels beyond whatever you think DeFi is. You know, this is not a game. It's not little casino. It's not little play thing. This is a financial weapon that's been designed, and they're about to nuke it. And when they power this thing on, this is the kind of stuff we're going to be dealing with. These are just glimpses into what we're going to be dealing with. And even set the visions aside, guys. I've known all this stuff was coming for a long time, because you can dig it up in all the pre-planned conspiracies and all that other stuff. It's all there. So I mean, just having confirmations from visions that this stuff is going to come about the earth. It's important to know, guys. This is the kind of stuff that's important. If you are an XRP army, it doesn't even matter if you're religious. It doesn't even matter if you believe in the Bible. This is important stuff to know. Is this stuff is coming.
Lord, I just pray that you just come over me right now and you just open everyone's ears and hearts to what you are showing in this vision, Lord. And I just pray that I share everything that you want me to share. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So when I went into the vision, I was on an island, and it was extremely stormy all around. And it was some on the island, like there was some rain hitting on the island, and the winds were absolutely crazy.
Don't you guys think it's interesting that like the Riddlers, who are not, I don't believe the Riddlers are devout Christians. The Riddlers have been talking about a storm coming for years.
But I could see, and I was like, it's a very small island that I was on. I could see land ahead of me, like big cities. Like I could tell the earth was there, but I was kind of isolated on my own island is what I was sensing in the spirit when I saw it. And then as I was watching the storm, a supernatural tsunami wave rose up. And I mean, it was massive. And I wasn't sure about which way it was going, but then it went away from the island and it went and it absolutely destroyed everything. And I knew it represented the earth. And it was really, to be honest, it was frightening to see what took place.
You know something that the node, I'll say this, because we've talked about the node network a lot. I love those guys. They have not seen the things that I've seen. They have not heard the conversations that I've heard. They have not dug deep enough ever in their life to look past surface level stuff or even medium level stuff to get to dig in the trenches to where you know this stuff is coming. And so, yes, of course, it's fun for them to play with DeFi because they don't even believe any of this stuff is going to happen. They just think that we're going to continue on about how our lives have gone the last 40, 50 years and that they're going to continue to get to play with the little, Canton network for the next 5 to 10 years. And it's all just going to be like, oh, fun and gravy. They don't know how fucked they are when all this shit plays out. And I love them too much to give up on them. And so I continue to talk in their live chat and stuff like that. But when they tell me that I'm just a conspiracy theorist, I'm like, dude, C19, we all saw it coming. And we see this financial weapon coming. We also see these storms coming. And when these things play out, it usually affects people pretty negatively, especially if they weren't prepared for it.
Then I went and I saw all of a sudden after that, I was like on the island and a white helicopter appeared. I believe it represented the wealth transfer. It represented provisions, finances.
So what he's saying right there, clear as day, God intends to transfer wealth to you. This does not have anything to do with how good you are at your job. This does not have anything to do with how good you are at business. This does not do anything to do with all the different fuck ups and sins you've done in your life. This has to do with God needing to choose from the collective pool of population on the earth currently for this time to transfer wealth to these people so that they can be of assistance to others. And he is going to airlift your ass out above the economic destruction so that you can then be a blessing to others. He's not airlifting you out of economic destruction so that you can own every car you've ever wanted. And if you do buy cars, that's fine. I'm not saying that. He's airlifting you out of this situation economically because the whole rest of the economy is going to collapse. That is a very serious thing I just said. Everyone that you know that's well off right now will not be doing so hot if they miss this opportunity or they weren't told about it. And that's also why I continue to make these videos. What if there's 5 more good people out there that all they needed to do is hear that this is going on and they'd see it instantly? What if I was meant to tell them? What if you were meant to tell one more person? And I know everyone's, looked at you like you're crazy and all this other stuff. But what if So that's why I'm so convicted in my videos. And I think it's why our channel looks a little different than other channels.
Things to help people. I then got into the helicopter and I began to fly into the world. I left my island and flew, and I saw nothing but devastation everywhere I went. And then this is where the Lord, and I feel the Lord all over this right now. He told me, because I was wondering, okay, what was the devastation? Because yes, I saw the tsunami, but I knew it wasn't saying that it was just a natural disaster that was going to take everything. And he reminded me, ooh, I feel the Lord, of the plagues of Egypt. And if you remember, the first wealth transfer took place when the Israelites left Egypt and they were giving them all their gold and everything that they had.
This is not the first wealth transfer in history. There was a wealth transfer after Moses went and freed the slaves, and they were intended to go use that for good. And what did the Israelites end up doing with it after Moses freed the slaves? They went and ignored God's commands because they saw giants in the land, giants that made them feel as if they were grasshoppers. So you were talking 40-foot giants, like the giant Cyclops from the new movie, The Odyssey. You will see stuff like that in your time, if you're my age. If you're like 80, probably not. But you will see stuff like that. Mark my words. When I tell you you don't want to know the stuff I know, it's because you don't. I don't want to know the stuff I know, but God had me understand it anyways. So when he talks about this kind of stuff, there was already a great wealth transfer in history. So they were intended to go use it for good and for God's kingdom. And what did they do? They ruined it. That's why I'm telling you guys. When God gives you this wealth transfer, don't fuck it up. Get in alignment with God before this happens. It's more important than anything else. Get in alignment with God before this happens, because God is going to use you as a vessel, a warrior. And the more I do this channel, I don't know if you guys know this, the more I do this channel, the more I realize these things happen to me and these debates and all this other stuff. And I'm on here making these lives and I get conviction to make this video. God is using me as a steward of his community to share this message with you. I am just like a lot of people. I'm the last person I would have thought God would have sent to explain this concept to people, because I'm an ADHD deep dive conspiracy theorist and I'm insane. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. But here we are, almost 1,000 subscribers in, and people are hearing it. So I've gotten confirmation that I'm at least doing something, and we're not going to miss this.
Just like in the days of Moses, I hear the Lord saying this right now. I sent 10 plagues then. I have 10 disasters coming. Oh, my goodness. I have 10 disasters coming to this world to bring it to its knees. Because desperation will be a gift for many to save their souls. It will hurt in the natural, but in eternity, they will thank me for it. Millions will thank me for the devastation I am about to bring to the earth. Here are the 10 devastations that will come. And I'm not saying there won't be some of this before the wealth transfer, but 10 of these will be in full effect. Okay. One disaster, it'll be financial, relational, people, divorce. There will be a spirit of division, that relationships, people's families and relationships will be absolutely destroyed by the madness of the demonic that will be going across the earth at that time. Spiritual devastation, church hurt, false prophets, teachings of demons.
He's spitting fire right now, and you guys are hearing this. But I just want to address what Liminal Lands just said, because it's the same for me. Look, I am not an investor, guys. I should have been, but I wasn't. That wasn't part of my journey. Do you want to know what I am? I'm a chosen XRP holder. That's it. I may never invest again after this. I'm not even relatively interested in investing. I think it's kind of a cool concept, but I'm like, what I want to do with my life is not just sit there and analyze companies. That's boring to me. XRP wasn't boring because I was chosen to see it. I am an XRP holder. I am a participant in this one great wealth transfer. I am desperately trying to figure out and pray how to not fuck this up. So what he's saying right there is very powerful stuff, and these things are coming. And Liminal, I just wanted to address what you said, because this is my first investment ever as well. Other than my furniture business, this is my first investment. I'd never even thought about investing. I thought investing was just kind of something silly. Like, I knew you could make money in it, but I was like, I don't want to day trade and all that shit. And like, I was like, I'd rather just run my furniture business and spend time with my family. And then God shows me XRP, and I was like, what is this? What is this? And I figured it out in a month or two. And I spent the next 8 months making sure it's still true. It's more true now than it was 8 months ago. This is happening. Mike?
Just like the word says, they will get deceived. New age will increase, and an impact of spiritual devastation, political devastation. There will be divisions between their own countries. Countries who had alliances will be going against each other. Own governments will be going against each other. Wars will be going on and increasing, and the rumors of wars. A sexual disease, a sexual devastation. So there will be outbreaks of new sexual diseases. There will be natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, seeing a lot of fires. Lord help us. Generated sicknesses. Listen to, I have to be careful on the words I say. Generated sicknesses.
Can you guys think of a recent generated sickness? There's going to be more. I don't know what they're going to be, but there's going to be more. So just be wary of this. Understand, Brandon Biggs was talking about that there's going to be a virus that's spread via cash. What do they want to get rid of? They want to get rid of cash. They want to get rid of your sovereignty. They want you to be on universal basic income on the digital ledger system so that they can track you. So yes, that would make sense if they were going to create a virus that was spread easily through cash and transactions and paper like that. So we got to be wary and understanding of this stuff. That's why I'm posting this video today. Not because I don't want to make every video like this. Look, you are still going to have a great life. You are still going to be a warrior of God. You are still going to have a beautiful family. You are still going to have your hopes and dreams and visions, and you are still going to fulfill your destiny as a person. So you're not just going to wake up every day and be fucked and like be like, oh, I hate life. I can't believe God chose me for this. No, you're going to be a really, really happy, wealthy person that's like, who do I help next? Oh, God, there's so many fires to put out. That's who you're going to be. So I don't want this to be like doom and gloom. Please just hear my heart why I'm bringing you this message, because it has nothing to do with like DeFi. Is everything to do with God's and one true intended purpose.
You pray about that. You're going to know what that means. Poisons in medications people take and foods people eat from chemicals that were put there intentionally.
That's already happened.
I'm being very careful of how I say things. Guys, you need to take back what I'm saying.
Can I say this, guys? I mirror this guy 1,000%. I understand the message I'm supposed to share. I understand the level of crazy I'm supposed to show. And I understand that no other channel is willing to risk looking crazy. So I have to come out and say it. So, but I do try to balance that. I do genuinely try to not scare people away from my channel. Not because I care about how many subscribers I have, because I care about how many people see the message. I care about how many people, if there were 5 or 10 or 100 people I was supposed to help see XRP for what it is, I'm honored to do it. That's why I don't want to mess it up. So when I share videos with this like this, I want you guys to know, if you're not religious, if you're not Christian, if you don't believe in the spirit, that's fine. But I'm sharing this because I know that all this stuff is coming anyways, regardless of him having the visions to see it. And I just want you guys to know this stuff is coming. So when I say this is not a fucking game, this is why. And this is only part of why.
To the Lord. And then finally, I'm going to say it this way. The dark angel will come for many.
It takes less than 10 minutes for this ergonomic pillow to take 60 pounds of pressure off your shoulder joint. It's lighter than a book.
I want that pillow, by the way. That ad worked on me earlier.
Those are the 10. And the world will never be the same. So that's what the devastation was. As I was flying through my helicopter, that's what the 10 were. That's what had done all that the devastation that I was seeing. Then I'm going to keep going with this vision. Guys, you have to like this and share this so people hear what God showed me. Then I felt led to land at a certain place, right? And I landed because I felt like I had an assignment. I was going to a specific place. I didn't know when. I landed the helicopter and I found a family that came out of like this shack. They were devastated. And I went back to the helicopter and I was able to pull out everything that they needed. And then...
Can I just pause this right here? Do you guys remember on my rant video when I was sounding really mad and crazy? And I told you, I said in a year or two from now, this is before I saw his video, in a year or two from now, because I know the economical collapse they're going to bring and the storms and the controlled weather projects and all this other shit. On my rant, I said, you will walk down the streets and you will see families with children and newborn babies that are homeless and hungry and suffering. And if you walk by as an XRP holder, you might be able to help, God willing. But if you walk by and you were just one other person that decided not to see this because you were too busy with DeFi and other bullshit, sports games, whatever, you didn't understand how serious this moment was, you will see shit like this in your life and you will not be able to help. I want to be able to help in those scenarios. That's why I spent thousands of hours researching this, so I knew confirmation from God.
Supernaturally, as I was praying with them, a house built behind them, and I saw the glory of the Lord like a glory portal over their little home. And they were restored and made brand new. They went from having...
You are that glory portal. I know that sounds kind of bad and dirty, but you guys are what he's talking about. The XRP army will be over these people with wealth to spare. You will be the shining beacon of light if you don't fuck this up. God chose you for this moment. God chose you for this wealth transfer. And God is speaking now, letting you know you have a chance right now to go and spend 1,000 fucking fiat US dying petro dollars and get 1,000 fucking XRP. He put you here now for them. And mark my words, you will see families like that.
Having them those ragged clothes like this to them being healed and whole. I knew I led them to the Lord in the vision. And then supernaturally, they were restored in the natural as well. Part of the wealth transfer is going and sharing the gospel to the broken. And that's how the real restoration takes place. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with the vision. Then I went back to the helicopter. Oh, also, there were many people around us seeing what took place in the family. And there were hurt, broken people all over. But I knew I had one target, and even though everyone around was screaming and needed help, I had to leave. And I got in my helicopter and I flew back, and I went back to my island, or the island. And I prayed to God and I thanked him for what he had done in that family's life. And I felt rejuvenated because it was hard for me to see all the devastation. I was crying and thankful, but also heartbroken for everything that I saw. Then I felt a rejuvenation, and then he sent me back into the helicopter again. I got back into the helicopter, and I was flying again, and I knew I had a single target to go to, and I saw an old man walking down with a wooden stick as a cane, and I knew that was my target.
The reason I tell you guys to get right with God before the wealth transfer, I've proven 1,000 times on 100 YouTube videos, the wealth transfer is happening. All you have to do to receive the wealth transfer is go to any fucking exchange. I don't care about crypto, guys. But all you have to do to receive the wealth transfer that God has for you is go to any fucking exchange or anywhere. Google how to get XRP. God chose that. That's my fucking phone, by the way. God chose that for the wealth transfer for his kingdom. This is not about DeFi. This is about this old man walking with a stick in pain who lost everything. And in the future, the people that God puts and lines up in your life, all the people in your past that you wish you could help, you will now get that opportunity to help. If you but open your heart and your spiritual ears to see this, ears to see, ears to hear, eyes to see. This is all happening. God chose you. If you are watching this video still and you are feeling and vibing with this, understand this is nothing to do with crypto, nothing to do with DeFi. Fuck all that. This has to do with God's wealth transfer. And if he wanted to use bananas for a wealth transfer, I would be telling you it's XRP.
And I went and I landed the helicopter behind the man and approached him. And I prayed for his back because I supernaturally knew he was in pain in his back. And his back was healed. And I led him to the Lord. And people, as you can kind of see in this picture a little bit, but in the vision, once again, it was similar to the people with the young family. People all around saw the healing and the glory of the Lord on this man. And he was restored, and a house was built for him supernaturally, and he was restored and made new. And people were yelling and screaming, and people saw what was happening, but were also begging me to help them. But I knew I had to leave, and I got in the helicopter and I left.
Look, I've told you guys before I even saw this video, I've told you guys, there are going to be situations when you are wealthy. You will be in a permanence of wealth. And there will be people God leads you to and tells you, like, don't help them with your finances. Pray for them, heal them, but do not give them money. And you'll have to listen. So I'm telling you guys to get right with God. I'm trying. Look, I'm not out here like I'm some sort of like amazing saint Christian. I just happen to have been born and raised Christian, and I understand it all. My mom's the one you're looking for if you want like the devout Christian that's just like steadfast in her ways and understands Jesus like inside and out. I understand it enough to know when he's chosen me for something. And so when he talks about in this video about how like there will be people you encounter and you are not meant to help them financially, be wary of that. You guys are a steward. This wealth is going to be given to you, and then you will become that steward. And God's trusting you and counting on you and hoping that you receive it and see it for what it was and understand this is far more important than Ferraris and mansions, and that there will be people you want to help and are not meant to help financially, and it will be difficult. There will be difficult decisions to make.
Hey, if you shoot guns a lot and you're not as good as you'd like to be, then you're probably going to want to see this. What I've just dropped inside of here is my Laser Strike cartridge, which goes with the entire Laser Strike system. Not only does this...
And the vision ended. And I was shaking in my spirit. And then the Lord told me this, and I'm going to put the prophetic word on the thing, and I think it's very important. That's why I'm putting it on the screen, so you can take a picture of it or do whatever, or come back and so you can read it. This is what the Lord told me extremely clearly. This is a warning. If you are not in the shelter of my wing, devastation is coming. You see the storm, you feel the storm, but you will not be in the storm. You think you're going to be in the storm because it's all around you. This is the purpose of the wealth transfer. It will not be the season that many people think it will be, relaxing on beaches and vacations. It will be a season of devastation that will lead to your greatest assignment. I'm sharing this so that you can change your perspective of what you need to do moving forward.
I just want to add to what he's saying. I know a lot of you guys are still trying to figure out if XRP is going to do this and that, and that's why this channel is here. But what he's talking about is he's talking about you coming alive for this one great assignment. I already feel like I'm initiated. I don't know if you guys have noticed, my channel has changed a lot in the last month since it was like 6 months ago when I started. If you watch my video from the first video when I wasn't even sure why I was making a video, I was just like, oh, I'm going to explain this to people who don't understand it. Maybe I'll catch some people. To the video now, or like when I'm ranting and letting you guys know this is happening, it's a completely different channel. And that is because God has awakened in me and given me permission to say what I really fucking mean. And what's insane is the more insane I get, the more people listen. The more insane I get, the more people hear it. The more insane I get, the more people are watching. There's 70 people watching this psychotic ADHD. I'm not going to say it right now. Whatever this is. And we're watching a video about Jesus and prophetic word, and we're reaching people. So it's awesome. It's really cool to be a part of. And I thank you guys all for being with us.
The blessing is sent to help the hurting. Many will not make it. You are my lifeline to the broken and the hurting and the devastated. You have specific assignments I will send you on. And if you get distracted while you're helping, it will suck the life out of you because there will be too many needs, even for you.
You guys are going to be extremely wealthy with XRP. And what he just said right there, like I kind of said like 5 minutes ago, you will be the beacon of hope. You'll be the beacon of light in a storm. You will be the shelter over these people who were not chosen for whatever reason to hold XRP. They couldn't get it. They couldn't see it. They weren't listening, whatever. You will be that lifeline, and there will be so many people to help in the next 10 to 20 years that you will not be able to even help them all. Even with your abounding resources, even with Easy XRP, the army, collectively trying to help everyone we can, we will not be enough. And that is why in the end, it is God that has to be enough. In the end, it is God that has to provide. And in the end, we will be stewards and vessels to assist those in need, like the Node Network. But God will be the one in the end, who is your provider, who's your shelter, who loves you, who cares for you. And in the end, this is all just the gateway till we enter heaven. We are spiritual beings experiencing human experiences. The reason you feel chills when you hear the Spirit talking to you, or when you hear God talking to you, the reason you feel the chills is because that is like your vibration changing around like your spirit, and your human body feels this difference in vibration, God talking to you. And so anyone that hasn't felt that, I can understand why you don't believe in God. But if you felt that before and you don't believe in God, you're missing it.
To help. This is why I have you learning my voice. Because the chaos will be so loud, you have to be able to hear me through the noise.
If you're planning on publishing a book this year, stop scrolling. There are only 4 real ways on how to publish a book, and most authors choose one without actually understanding the difference. So if you've written a book or you're thinking about
Guys, I feel the Lord really want me to focus on this point right here. So many of us, including myself, are always wanting this certain wealth transfer bucket to be hit and filled. And I will rejoice when they happen. But I think God has showed this to me to change my perspective and understand I need to enjoy the way my life is right now. Because it's chaotic, but not what I seen coming. It will not be a relaxing hangout time after the wealth transfer. And listen, I want to refer back to the scripture that I shared in the very beginning. I'm only seeing in part. So I'm not trying to say it's going to be like a great and terrible day that this all happens in one day. I don't know the time frame. There might be a gap of 6 months. I don't know, guys. But sometime after, a lot of bad things will be happening. Ten of them. And like I said, you need to take back what I've just shared to the Lord yourself. But I'm telling you, the presence of the Lord that I feel on me right now, and the purpose of the message of this video is enjoy your life now and where you're at.
He's nailing it on the head, guys. He's nailing it on the head. I'm going to put him down just for a minute so I can share this. Everybody in the XRP army is like, I can't wait. Everybody in the XRP army is like, I am getting so impatient for XRP to take off. Everyone in crypto is like, oh, this bear market is so hard to bear. Your life is somewhat normal right now. Be thankful for that. You know what kind of responsibility this is? Let me explain to you how much of a responsibility this is. Imagine you had never held wealth in your entire life. And all of a sudden God comes to you and he says, I need you to carry this much wealth. You don't even know how much wealth it's going to be because you don't know what number XRP is going to, but it's very high. There's a reason that they call it, oh, Lord. My alarm went off. There's a reason. God chose you for this moment to hold a certain amount of wealth, whether that's millions, decamillions, 100 millions, billions. It doesn't matter, guys. God is about to put, he says, are you ready for it? God's asking you in XRP Army, are you ready for this wealth I'm about to bestow upon you? Are you sure? Because you're getting impatient. You're saying, I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. And then he finally, like David versus Goliath, puts his brother's adult armor on a 12-year-old and David collapses. Are you ready? Are you ready for this wealth transfer? Are you sure? Because the wealth transfer is just the beginning. The reason I titled what I titled my title is because it's like you very well might fuck this up if you're not listening. If you're not asking God to give you the wisdom to steward this massive wealth coming and sitting there, thank you, God, for this time to figure out how to steward this wealth and to get prepared mentally, understanding there's going to be so much wealth coming to my family that's not for me. It is not because of me. It is not because I'm great. It is because you want to use me as a vessel to be that shining beacon of light for the people that miss this Are you ready? You better be ready, because he's about to bestow upon you wealth and a weight of which you've never experienced before. And what are you going to do? Are you going to be like that guy in the Bible who got his, one talent and then went and buried it in the ground because he was too scared to use it and share it for the sake of losing it? Or are you going to be the one that went and invested in a bunch of different things and then let and gained yield off of it and borrowed against it and stewarded it correctly and was listening to God the entire time and then stewarded it correctly and took 10 talents and became 20 talents? Because you are about to be armed in the financial armor of God for a purpose, not because you're great, not because you're special, not because you're worthy, because he needs vessels in this period of time to carry this burden for his kingdom, and you were chosen. Are you ready? I hope so. I'm trying to be, but when it hits, it'll feel different. You will never get to go back to the simple life you lived. This life of just hanging out with your friends and going to the bar on Saturday and working Monday through Friday, that's gone. Who will you be then? I ask you to figure that out now. Who will you be when that happens? When all the doors open for you, all the doors you've been praying and asking for God to open for you, he opens all the doors at once. Are you ready? Or will you still be trying to figure out how Canton works? Sorry. Let's go back to our friend here.
Because many of us think that once we have these certain dollar amounts, it's all going to be calm and peaceful. Understand the purpose of it is that we are going to have to go out into the devastation to help people. And like the Lord said earlier, he said millions of people will thank him in heaven for the devastation through these 10 devastations that will be coming. Because yes, it destroyed them in the natural, but it saved their soul forever.
Are you an RN exhausted from long hours and disheartened by seeing your patients in the hospital again and again? Then listen up, because in the next...
Because what we're doing here is a drop in the ocean compared to the eternity. Get ready to suffer for the Lord. It was devastating for me in that vision, going and helping the people and then having to leave. All the other ones hurting. It's not going to be easy. And if you're watching this video, it's because God is trying to speak to you. Enjoy your children now. Enjoy your friendships now. Enjoy your life now. And it's crazy right now. The hardest it's been for many people ever. He says, I'm holding back the devastation now. This isn't devastating now. I hear him saying, come to me. Get your life right with me. Get your perspective on what's important. Our relationship and me having you lead your families, having me lead you into the life you have with me. Please, guys. Let's be thankful for the lives that we have. And if you know that you need to get your life right with the Lord, I would encourage you to step into this prayer I'm about to say so you can begin walking with him. or come back to him. If that's you, say this prayer with me. Dear Jesus, thank you for loving me. Thank you for showing me your love today. Please forgive me. Teach me your ways and have me walk with you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You guys feel
Guys,
that?
and I just feel like I'm supposed to pray for all of us who that are walking with the Lord and the new believers that are just said that prayer. Lord, I thank you for this vision, and I thank you for everything that you have said and shown and giving us a heads up of what is to come, Lord. I pray that there is not a spirit of fear that tries to come alongside these visions of what is coming, but understanding that you created us for such a time as this. And that we will not run away from the devastation, but we will run into it in your name, knowing that you will protect us. Lord, I pray that every single person will have a sense of peace, a sense of gratitude of where we're at right now. Lord, I pray for an intimate moment for each person who watches this that they can have with you after. And including right now, Lord, I ask for a supernatural touch on every single person that is watching, that it is tangible, that when they get off and this moment is over, they know that the Lord encountered them. In Jesus' name, Lord, encounter us. Have peace come into their room. A presence like they've undoubtedly know that you are with them. I just feel the anointing of the Lord on me, and it's coming upon you. He says, just receive it. He's putting mantles on people of courage and wisdom. Courage and wisdom. Amen.
Amen.
Guys, if you had an encounter with the Lord during this video, please put a fire emoji in.
Amen, guys. I'm telling you, this is not all about DeFi. I'm telling you, this is not all about the little games David and Mike play. And Lauby, I want to say, when you're saying I'm feeling St. John the Baptist fire, brother, I am not kidding you. A year ago in church, I had met this man who was devout Christian. And he's a real estate agent, super cool guy, just the most humble, he has that face that just inspires joy. He came to me, prayed over me, put his hand on my stomach, which I thought was a weird place to put your hand praying for somebody. But he's like this snuggly, kind of chubby guy. And so I was like, yeah, dude, fucking do whatever you want. He puts his hand on my stomach and he says, you've been called weird your entire life. And he said, I feel the spirit of John the Baptist and you're weird. He's like, but people have been calling you weird. It is not weird. He said, it is a spirit on you. And here I am a year later and somebody mentions John the Baptist. Don't ever assume I'm trying to call myself John the Baptist. Obviously, that's legendary type stuff there. I'm just saying, feel the connections, guys. You have to feel the connections in your own life for yourself, for your confirmations. And that was confirmation for me, understanding that I am weird. It's the only reason this channel works. Could you imagine me not being weird and trying to say all this shit? What if I was like those boring fucks on all the other crypto channels and I was saying this shit? Would you receive it? I don't think so. Let's go to the comment section, guys. That was so much fun. And, I got to say this. I respect you all so much for having the foresight to see that even if you're not religious, even if you're not a believer, there's something bigger at play here. And if you're not a believer, I hope that you see this channel for what it is. You can be chosen for God's wealth and not yet have accepted him in your life. Can I just come out and say that? You right now could be chosen for God's great wealth transfer. He knows you're not ready to accept him yet. He knows that. He knows you. But he knows in the future you're ready to accept him. And right now, he's going to give you wealth instead because he needs good and willing people. He needs good, honorable, willing people to take up the mantle, to put on the armor of God and to put on the armor financially for this great wealth transfer. And you might be chosen before you've even chosen God. He knows who you are. He sees you for who you are. So let's finish this video by doing comments and answers. I can't believe that was only an hour and 15 minutes. To me, that felt like 3 hours. That was an hour and 15 minutes. And yeah, let's do some comments, guys. This channel is allowing me to come alive, and I thank you all for that, because without you, I would have never come out alive and out of my... and I've always been weird, but I've stayed in that weird shell. And when I come out a little bit of my shell, people would like be, not ready for it. But on YouTube, apparently you're all ready. Gamer Paradise is in the house, guys. What's up, man? New mom, amen. Since you will be super wealthy, yep. Gamer Paradise, man, I'm just praying we see price take off by end of year. You don't have to worry about that, brother. It's happening. I'm worried about AI for me and my wife's profession in the future. Yeah, your jobs are gone, but that's okay because God's chosen you for a wealth transfer instead. I'm not kidding you guys. I'll say this because I'm answering comments now. So write questions or comments, whatever. I went to move my mouse when he went to go pray. And it was like, I took it back subconsciously. Like it was almost like the spirit told me, don't touch the mouse. Because I was worried that everyone would see this channel as like too spiritual. And I swear to God, like my hand was like taken away from the mouse. And I was like, okay, let's let him pray. Because this is what it's all about. This wealth transfer is not because you're worthy. This wealth transfer is not because you're ready. This wealth transfer is not because you're good at business or good at your job or good at anything. This wealth transfer is because God needed willing vessels and you are willing, and he will bestow upon you the armor of God. It doesn't even matter if you carry it well. He still needed you as a willing vessel to carry this wealth, and you will help people. G-Man, I just got the part in the live where you mentioned shining beacon of light and having visions of lighthouses. Wow. Confirmations, guys. I love this. The older I get, the more into this space I get, the more into business I get, the more I realize we are just stewards of God's wealth and creation. And we are simply here, but to like try to help others until God takes us home. And it's an awesome journey. XRP Flya, I'll keep my car I have. Truck is paid off. Nice. House is paid off. Jeep is paid off. But we'll definitely have a strategy with what's ahead. Yeah. And you won't even need a strategy per se. You can have preparations and be like mentally ready and spiritually ready to handle this wealth transfer. But God will let you know every step of the way what to do. Dave Langlowis says definitely. New mom, there's a lot of XRP millionaires in here. If you'd like to learn more about XRP, take hands off the keyboard and listen. We got you in here. Nothing but info and respect. Yeah, very well said. And I also want to add to what you just said there. Earlier, I was on the Node Network. Well, I was, commenting on it. I'm always with Moneymaker trying to comment with these guys. And XRP FLYA was in there. He asked me to come in there, and I was like, I'm ready. So I went in there with the comments. And Mike on the Node Network was like, we just don't want people thinking XRP going to $10,000 when it can. I'm like, what if it can? You are just as deceptive because you don't know. Telling people that this is not going to happen. You think, Mike, you know that God is not going to initiate this wealth transfer upon his kingdom? They walk on an air of like blasphemy on that channel. And we have to pray for them. That's all we can do. I don't think they'll ever see it, and I don't even care anymore. I do care about them. I do love them, and I'll lend them some XRP when they're in need in the future because we'll still be talking. I might even go to Mike's cabin. But this is happening. And the reason I get so fired up and mad is because people will miss it because of men like that who don't see it. All they can see is the little game that they have, the little DeFi game. This is not a game. They wanted you to think crypto's a game so you'd miss their pre-planned financial weapon. Be smarter than that, guys. I want to have New Mom on the channel sometime, by the way. New Mom is one of the OGs. She warms my heart. And I hope sometime she'll honor me and come on the channel just to hang out. We don't have to talk about anything. We can exist and just have a good time. Moneymaker XRP, DeFi comes into place after so that you don't have to sell. XRP is a golden goose that keeps on giving the golden eggs. 1000%, brother. Want to have you on too, Bolsnut. Let's see where we are in the comments. Okay. Thank you for giving us motivation and positivity as a blessing. I'm glad, Robert Delaney, that you saw that as positivity and motivation, because there's tons of people that would see my whole video I just made today as negativity and FUD and fear mongering. But if you really are chosen and see the assignment, it is positivity and motivation. You're about to be bestowed wealth upon you. Not because you deserve it, not because you're worthy, not because you've done anything, good in business or something like that. You're just going to be bestowed wealth upon, like an inheritance. God's always talked about his inheritance for his kingdom. God wants you to be wealthy. God wants you to succeed. And so thank you for saying that, because I hope that this all comes in the right light and the right message to you people. The reason I sound so insane is because I don't want anyone to miss it. That's it. If I sound insane at any given time to you, I'm just making sure that I have at least said my piece, and I don't want anyone to miss it if they don't have to. I know people will miss it anyways, but if they don't have to. We like your weird Chris bring it. Appreciate you, new mom. I'm glad you said that. Dave Langlois, I was meant for this. Yes, you were. Subrilicus, how do we join your Discord for the noob? Asking for a friend. It should be in the Discord or the description. Yes. So if you go to the description of this live, it should be in the description as the link you can click to join the Discord. And we got like 77 people in there now. So almost 10% of the channel is in the Discord, which is awesome. Because when my YouTube channel gets taken down, we will all retreat there. Forlan, check thanks. Subrilicus, thanks. Feb, new mom, how much XRP would I need to stack to be able to make a difference as a soldier in this army? As much as you can. If God chose you for this moment, and God puts you in a position in life to where you can only afford 10 or 100 XRP, you are still just as fucking important as the people that hold 1 million XRP. Everybody's armor is built different. If God has you set up in a life and a light in a way to where you only need 10 XRP, carry that armor with pride, brother. I don't care if you have 10 XRP, 100 XRP, 1,000 XRP. You are XRP army. If you see this for what it is, you hold XRP, you are XRP army. It does not matter how much you have. God will allow you to have how much you need. God will give you a conviction to hold how much you need. And don't get me wrong, Satan will get involved and try to make you super greedy and make you screw up things in your life so that you can hold a couple more XRP. He will try to screw up your life as many ways as he can, but this is happening. It's inevitable. It's happening very soon. And so God will allow you to have exactly how much XRP you need to have as a soldier in God's kingdom before this takes off. So as much as you can carry without ruining your life, and hold in faith, brother. Oh my goodness, I feel it too. Yeah. There were some moments on this live where I just felt the spirit. It was awesome. And it's awesome when I'm ranting and I feel it and I'm like, wow, I sound and look insane. God's okay with this. That was pretty cool confirmation. You asking me too? Okay. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. XRP flyer 1,000 will make you very comfortable. Yeah. Subrilicus, this channel works because there is a % of us crazy holders that still ask why me. Now we know. Yes. Yes, Subrilicus. Thank you for saying that. 1,000,000%. I've asked why me. I've asked why me to make this YouTube channel? Why do I still feel convicted to make videos? I've even asked myself, why do I even feel convicted to be the only channel out here ranting and yelling at people? I've had those thoughts. Don't think I'm so unself-aware that I just think I'm yelling out here for fun. There's a reason I'm escalating my volume of my voice. It's not because Austin Powers, he's just having difficulty controlling the volume of his voice. I know what I'm doing. I feel it. Sorry. My dream job was stand-up comedian. And God was like, well, stand-up comedian can wait. Why don't we just give you ADHD, deep dive conspiracy theorist, cryptocurrency warrior? I was like, I'll take it. Sign me up, sir. I'll take it. I'll take it. It was the only job open for this crazy guy. You want to be very wealthy, though. If you want to be very wealthy, hold as much as you can, brother. Lobby, you are literally going before this time ahead and trying to warn and prepare people too. I appreciate you saying that. I look crazy now, but look at this video 3 months from now and tell me, yeah, exactly. You nailed it on the head. Like, I look crazy now, but wait 3 to 6 months. This video will look very relevant and people will wish they have listened. 5K enough? 5K is more than enough, brother. And if you can stack more than that, cool. You don't have to put a number on it. Pray about it. You know, if God wants you to hold 10,000, 5,000, 3,000, that's your number, brother. And you will use that to do as good as you can. And God has your life. God already calculated your stupidity when he gave you your plan. God already calculated how dumb I'd be, how many times I'd fuck up when he gave me all my plans for my life. And it's starting to work out swimmingly. XRP FLYA, Node says if you believe it will happen for their crap and projects, but believing in XRP isn't a thing, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'll say this. I thought 100 times over in my business, on this YouTube channel, whatever. I thought I had fucked up my plan for God's plan for me 100 times. And here I am sitting to you today to let you know. After all this shit I fucked up in my business, all this shit I fucked up in my marriage, all this shit I fucked up in life, all this shit I fucked up in crypto, all this shit I fucked up on my YouTube channel. I'm still here and people are still here giving me confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. So God calculated your stupidity before he bestowed this wealth upon you. So don't live in fear. New mom, whatever amount you are led to buy. Wow, new mom's vibing was what I just said there. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost that one. Not financial advice, but if you hold it long enough, you will be extremely wealthy. Stack, don't worry about it. New mom knows what's up, guys. Moneymaker, easy. Node only puts out FUD on XRP. Without that, they wouldn't have a channel. Why don't they put out vid after vid on some other coin they don't like or has flaws? Yeah. XRP Army is the easiest way to get clicks. If you tell XRP Army or if you tell Moneymaker XRP might not be used, you're going to get views. And 30% of the viewers today was XRP Army on there telling them, bro. Gucci Clarity, they don't have the mental. Oh, and Moneymaker XRP, I've gotten several comments from people that loved having you on the channel. So I can't wait to have more of you on the channel. Moneymaker XRP, people love you, dude. You're an awesome guy, and you know what the fuck you're talking about. Gucci Clarity, they don't have the mental capacity to see the truth. Oh, and Professor Hedgehog was on here earlier. I hope he's still on. I was promoting and pushing Professor Hedgehog's video on the Discord and sharing it on X and stuff like that because Professor Hedgehog knows this fucking shit, guys. He knows what's coming. It's a cyclical thing. Like when Rome fell financially, the same symptoms are happening now in the United States. The same symptoms are happening right now. Professor Hedgehog is just fucking fire. And I was like, when I clicked on his first video or his third video, I was like, it's got 0 views. I clicked on it. I was the first view. And I was like, people need to see this. And I shared it with the Discord. I shared it with X. And I was like, people need to see it. And I got 59 views. And it's going to grow from there. You guys have to plant these seeds. You have to have the faith of a mustard seed to plant a seed and grow your thoughts if God calls you to. And some of you are called right now and you're not even making content. And that's not against you. I'm just saying, like, be wary of that. If you felt convicted for the last few months or a year, like make some content about something, don't worry about how many people will watch it. Build it. And if God intended for you to build it and have people see it, they'll see it. And if it's 5 people, that's just as important. Moneymaker XRP. Gucci Clarity. They don't have the mental capacity to see the truth. All they fall for is a low-hanging fruit and intentionally a place for us as distraction. Very well said. Sir Kiss. I bet they are being paid for the FUD. I still have not been able to decipher whether they're getting paid for it or not. I still have not been able to decipher whether they hold XRP or not, and they're just fucking with us. Chris's live with new mom will be Chris ranting and me yelling hallelujah in the background. It'll be hilarious. Gotta give the people what they want. 411, 10,000 or more should be enough, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Yeah, that's a solid amount of XRP. 5,000, 10,000, 3,000. And if Crypto Phoenix nailed it on the head, guys, which I think a lot of us believe in Crypto Phoenix. We also believe in Jake Claver. We also believe in Common Sense Crypto. We believe in a lot of great channels. One of them is going to be right. And if it goes straight to $45,000 to $100,000 a coin, I think there's a reason that it's called the Great Wealth Transfer. Moneymaker XRP, I would disagree, Sir Bull, only because I known David for 2 years and he's always hated XRP. Yeah. My conclusion with David and Mike on the Node Network is that I think they genuinely don't think XRP is actually going to go up. If they do hold some, they're not going to tell us. But yeah, I think that they actually believe that. Miss Adams, it sounds like you're going to be greedy if you're ever wealthy. I don't think so. I'll say this. Yeah, obviously pray against the spirit of greed, because I struggled with that a couple of times. But I think, look at it this way. God speaks to us all in different ways. So if God is speaking to Feb, and Feb has always had a deep desire to be extremely wealthy because he can handle it, and God bestows upon him an extreme amount of wealth, no. Wealth is a tool. Wealth is a tool the same way that a laser gun would be a tool. Now, if Feb was like, oh, I want a really big laser gun when they come out with lasers, I don't think you'd say the same thing. You wouldn't say like, oh, Feb wants mass destruction because he wants a really big laser gun. It just means whatever he wants to point that laser gun, he wants to make sure it explodes. So Feb, I'll say no, I don't believe that you are greedy. I'll say that, obviously always we should all be praying against the spirit of greed and everything else. But if you feel convicted to hold a lot of XRP because you need to be wealthy, God will back that up and confirm it in the future. And if it crushes you and you fall apart, just pray to God and make sure you know what your conviction level is, because wealth can be just as dangerous as it can be helpful, I've heard. But Ms. Adams, they buy what you can and stop worrying. Very important point, Ms. Adams. Not worrying about how much XRP you have, because God will give you how much you need in your life for your wealth purposes, for your armor, for people you're intended to help, and that will be enough. So yeah, don't live in a spirit of fear. Very well said. Bull's not XRP. After the very small sell-off, I'll never again sell again and just get yield. This is only if I can get yield early on. Yeah. So we'll all be playing that one step at a time, trying to make sure that we're not, selling too much of our XRP at once. Interesting way to see it, but why not hold some and see how you handle the wealth? Yeah. And if you guys ever get too much wealth and you pray against the spirit of greed and you become greedy, you can just give it away. Some is better than none, that's for sure. Chris is helping us prepare for the financial collapse. I don't think you're crazy. I appreciate that, Andy Crazy GameStop, because sometimes I feel crazy. But then I get confirmations like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just talking about things that will happen, and it doesn't matter how crazy it sounds. It's going to happen. John's Journey just entered Discord in case this channel gets banned. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah. And I do like having the Discord groups. So we did a Discord group night before the debate, and it was so much fun. And some of us were up on there for like 6 hours, and there was like 3 of us left. And I've still got to actually message and make a call to somebody on Discord from that. But yeah, it was really fun. Why would the channel get banned, Robert Delaney? The reason, and the Discord link is in the description below. The reason this channel would get banned would be for a lot of the same reasons Alex Jones' channel got banned. Or not banned, but I mean, he's not allowed on like Facebook or YouTube or something like that. And so you got to understand that like the New World Order elites, all this stuff I'm saying, even though it's like true and it's all this stuff happening and all this stuff is like, sounds crazy. They don't want channels like mine kind of spewing the information that I'm spewing, because they want to go beneath the radar. So when the New World Order elites make moves like XRP and Ripple, and they want that to be their new financial weapon to use against us, they don't want idiots like myself just going out there and being like screaming like, I've seen it, guys, I've seen what they're doing with crypto. Look, there's this giant monster underneath here, XRP. They intend to power this bitch on. When this shit powers on, it's going to be fucking insane. They don't want channels like mine pointing that out. They want channels like the Node Network getting distracted with the little toys they give them to play with and spending 10 years researching that. So when somebody deep dives like myself, or somebody comes and tells you, hey, look, this is bigger than that, The New World Order elites hate that because it exposes their plan, and they'd rather us just not know. Too much truth, Bolsnot. Discord link in the description. KK, thank you. Fail means first attempts in learning. Very well said. Triple Nurple, which is an awesome name, says water squirts, sprouts, and then rockets. Couldn't have said it better than myself, man. My whole channel can be summed up with just that. And then just add like a Bible at the end. Moneymaker XRP, always glad to help Chris, and to those that like my face that was made for radio. Oh, well, thank you. I don't think any of us have a face made for radio. I just think none of us have a face that was ready for like YouTube. Like, I'll be honest, like I completely overlooked that when I made my YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, some people will probably like talk about my ears are kind of big, like my one tooth here is like mispositioned because like I forgot to wear my retainer after braces. I don't care. This is bigger than that. New mom, XRPFOIA, type that again for the people in the back. Wow, what a good word. Facts. Bossman XRP, if you're here, you're already wealthy. Yeah, pre-wealthy. Smash Mouth, Chris, you and 24 Hours Crypto need to do a show with the Node Losers. Would love to watch that. Yeah, like they went 3v1 versus me, and now they won't even talk about it. Imagine if we went 3v3 versus them. Put me, Crypto Phoenix, and Mickle on there. Would they have anything to say? No. Because if I couldn't handle the conspiratorial side, if Mickle couldn't handle it on the technical side, and if Crypto Phoenix couldn't do the math for them, then there is no pleasing you. It's like Austin Powers Gold member. It's like, do you want a crepe? Crepe in a pipe? Smoke in a pancake? Then there is no pleasing you. Oh, Lord. Let's freaking go. Robert Delaney Truth. Feb is kind of like Lionel. He's a troll. I don't think he's a troll. I think he's genuinely trying to figure out wealth, and genuinely trying to figure out how much XRP to hold. And there are a lot of people that come on the space and they're new, so I get protective over them because I can tell when somebody's new and trying to figure it out versus somebody that's trolling. And sometimes some of you attack the new people because they're just like asking questions that a new person would ask, and you think that they're trolls because the troll also asked those as like, you know, a joke. But Feb, I think he's a real person trying to figure this out. So welcome, Feb. Hit the likes, y'all. Yeah, trying to figure out how much is worth to hold. Yeah, if I need 10,000, might as well not. Yeah, very well said, man. 10,000 is great. If you want to be super wealthy, Eddie the Great with you all the way, Chris. Keep doing your doing, brother. I appreciate it. I'll tell you this much. The video today, the live I just made that we're still on, that I'm answering comments on, was 100% unscripted. I thought in my head a couple things I needed to say, and the rest just flowed. And then I knew I needed to share that video with that cool guy, David Williams, Gen Next. And I knew I needed to share that video because I knew I needed people to see why I sound so insane. The reason I'm willing to risk sounding so insane is because that stuff's going to come to your life. And are you ready? God wants to transfer his wealth to you. Are you ready? I'm trying to be ready, but will I actually be ready? Probably not. But I'll be trying every step of the way, every minute of the way, trying to be more ready. It's not going to be easy. The only thing that's easy is figuring out their plan, and that it's XRP. The only thing that was easy to me. Everything else will be a challenge. Fab says it would take me forever to save that. I might run out of time. Well, you're not going to run out of time, Feb. However much XRP God intended you to hold for this wealth transfer will be more than enough for you and your family the rest of your life. Just be glad you didn't miss it, because there will be people 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now that like heard that there was like XRP army and that they held XRP before it took off, and they will be crying that they missed it. You have not missed it yet, Fab. You could buy 1,000 right now and be good for the rest of your life. So buy as much as you can comfortably. You don't have to save up to get to a certain point. Just stack accordingly. And God entered you into this game the moment he intended to you, not a moment sooner, not a moment later. So you will have enough, Feb. A new mom, I've seen it. Moneymaker, look at it this way. The more you hold, the more you can help. Just don't put your rent money in there. Very smart, Bolsnot. Very well said. Where were we? Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just trying to Sometimes I get lost in the comments just because it scrolls to the bottom again. I try to like figure out where we were. Got it. 50 a week then. Yep, Feb. Sounds great. Hope I can get enough before I'm priced out. Don't worry about it, man. If you only end up with 100, what God meant for you, and you will still be wealthy in the future. The more XRP you have now, the shorter of the time span to become like instantaneously wealthy. But if Crypto Phoenix is right and you hold 100 XRP, it's going to $1 million in like a month. Yeah. Robert Delaney, LOL, keep up the good work. Definitely, I'm in Discord now. Nice, man. Edward Ponder, Moneymaker's statements on David at Node makes so much sense. Yeah. Yeah, the Node, they might not ever see it. 777, you are not crazy, brother. Nearly had me in tears earlier. I've been thinking the same way as you for a long time. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for being real, and thank you for being vulnerable enough to say that on a comment in the live, because there are some times when I'm like feeling I should say these things, and when I go on my rants, I don't hold back. Like, I feel like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I felt God gave me permission not to hold back anymore. Like, you I've built the channel up to a point to where God's people are now listening, and now that they're listening, is like God is like, now don't hold back. And so I'm like, okay, I will tell people however I feel at any given moment. And sometimes that comes out in a rant, sometimes that comes out in like happiness and laughter, sometimes that comes out in just like neutral monotone. But for whatever purpose, I am now not holding back. And I love it. And that's why I told you, you guys in this channel have allowed me to come alive. And I'm so grateful for that. Moneymaker, I'm just your friendly neighbor Sicilian with a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. Spaghetti and the meatballs. But don't owe me or my amigos money because your kneecaps might go. That sounds like XRP Arbor to me, man. I love that. New mom, don't be shy. Hammer the like button. Pretty please. Thanks, new mom. XRP Flya, Node has many clips of other debates, but nothing from the PC debate. Right? Why will they show? Are you not entertained? They're not in this for entertainment, guys. They're in this because Mikkel has X amount of subscribers, Jake Claver has X amount of subscribers, and they're trying to siphon as many of the subscribers as they can to their channel so they can get some views finally. And they won't share my debate. They won't even mention my debate verbally. They talk with me in the chat. They don't mention me in the lives. They don't say my name because I am a weapon. I am a weapon in God's army for XRP, and they are not ready for that. Love them, but they're not ready for that. And it showed in the debate. Edward came across heaps of these types of people, leftist, pseudo-intellectuals. Obviously, Dave's not leftist, though. He's not leftist, but he does fall into the category of like a pseudo-intellectual. He thinks he's smarter than he is. He thinks he's smarter than everyone else, so therefore he doesn't ask questions or listen to anyone else. XRPFLYA, my apologies, Fab. Yeah, and I don't think there's any like need to apologize. I think what it really is just like an understanding that like there are new people in this channel, and occasionally they come in and must see me like screaming at the channel, and that's already a lot. So we need to allow them to enter with grace and like support them and answer their questions until they prove themselves to become a troll. Like Lionel entered and proved himself to become a troll. And so it's like, I troll him back, but it's still fun. So there's no loss there. So let's just make sure that all the chosen people get welcomed with open arms. Because it is easy in a financial warfare and spiritual warfare to just like take the gloves off and immediately just start like destroying people. New mom, I want this channel to be first. You tell when you buy your first XRP. Let's go. You got this. Yeah. Let us know when you get some XRP, man. Edward Ponder, also Phoenix saying they need to extinguish the debt before activation might not have complete economic meltdown. Yeah. Yeah, they don't know everything on the Node network for sure. I'm glad you didn't take offense, Feb. And if you buy 20,000 XRP right now, you are a chosen one. And in my opinion, they'll be worth anywhere between 20 million and 200 million in the next year, depending on which one of these people called it correctly, the event. Moneymaker, not financial advice, also, of course, just letting you know what I think. Moneymaker XRP, try for 1,000, 10,000 if you can, and 100,000 XRP if you want to change things in a big way. 1 million XRP if you want to be president. Yeah, if you want to start your own planet, buy 1 million XRP. A new mom true story. My first time in a crypto live chat, they called me a troll, lol, but they helped me buy XRP. It was amazing. Yeah, it's a gloves off world. New mom. Feb, I mean, I don't want a lot, but I want more than enough. That 20,000 is more than enough, Feb. John's Journey, Crypto Phoenix said 1 million per XRP now. Holy shit. It'll build to that over time. And I've explained 1,000 reasons why on my channel. It will not be a market cap type of calculation. It will simply be that all of the world's liquidity will go into XRP to be used as a neutral liquidity digital pool that can transact in 3 to 5 seconds. So if anyone needs to use XRP as collateral, they'll be able to pull 50 million out of XRP with no problem. And so when David and Mike at the Node Network can't figure out, like, you know, how XRP can get to that price, they're forgetting, for one, they're going to run out, for two, it's pre-planned, and for three, people 10,000 times as smart as them did the math on it already, and that's why they created 100 billion XRP. So understanding that, and they threw away the key to make more XRP. So understanding that, the math, just understand that, like, they are going to tokenize the entire world. So they will take things like the Mona Lisa and the rainforest and other things that don't have a value placed anywhere. They're just estimated, you know, you get like an estimate for what the Mona Lisa is worth. That value of what this Mona Lisa is worth will be tokenized and put onto the ledger. And Elon Musk has come out and said they're going to spend $1 trillion to buy antimatter just for space travel. So the economy is going to grow 100,000x. And Mike and David will just be sitting there twiddling their thumbs, still trying to build dApps on the Canton network. Seriously. Feb, that's out of my zip code. Robert Delaney, yeah, I can't get any more feel like I am at a good spot now. Just hopeful because XRP is the right path. Yeah. And if you're already set with your bag of XRP, just hang out and watch the show. That's all you need to do. Put your feet up. New mom, Triple Nurple, I'm considering it right now, just buying and pushing it over my cold wallet. Yep, one at a time. Some of you are meant to have 1 million XRP, which sounds really stressful to me. Some of you are meant to have 100 XRP, which sounds pretty chill. Some of you are meant to have 100,000 XRP, 10,000 XRP, 3,000 XRP, doesn't matter. You were still chosen. Feb, I'm going to try for 1 to 2,000 because the way you were talking, I'll need to rob a bank for 100,000. Yeah, don't stress yourself out about it. God showed you when he meant to show you. John's Journey, probably the first time I saw XRP being stuck at one price for so long. No up, no down, $1 stablecoin. Yeah, I think they're mocking us with making it like a stable coin before it goes to like $1,000 plus. Kind of funny. Feb, I just don't think I have enough time according to your timelines. That's okay, Feb. Buy what you can today, not financial advice. And then stack as you can afford to. And I've already told you, God calculated your stupidity or your lack of before he gave you your plan and destiny. So however, if you end up with 348 XRP, it's infinitely better than having 0. So glad you didn't miss it, Feb. For land, Feb, just buy as much as you can right now, dollar cost average, more whenever you can. Yep. But if I had 3 years at $1, maybe I could do like 20,000. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Feb. We all want to go out and buy 1 million XRP, but we are also real people. And we are also people with real history, real jobs, real life problems. And so we have stacked as much as we can, knowing that this wealth transfer is coming. And then when God does the wealth transfer, you will have how much he meant you to have, and he will use you for that. Lionel's in the house, guys. Let's give the confetti because Lionel's in the house. We were just talking about you, Lionel. We missed you. Bossman XRP, gotta run. Thanks, brother, for the live. Truly felt it today. Me too, brother. Me too. I really felt it today. I'm glad that that we made this live. Let's see here. Where were we? Triple Nurple, new mom, it's worth it, especially knowing that no matter what you buy, you're getting some Zerps back. Nice. Zerps is the name for XRP on our channel. Money Vector XRP, new mom. I'm using Uphold debit card and just my normal spend I do a month gives me about 300 XRP for free with my 3,000. That's awesome, man. I need to get that. I should have done that 8 months ago. I didn't know that that was a thing. Damn it. New mom, Lionel. Wait a second. You're trolling up in here. Yeah. Careful, Lionel. You don't want to. The only one you don't want to piss off on this channel is new mom. You can piss me off. Doesn't matter. You piss off new mom, you're gone. XRP FLYA. I came in a little late, My average is 75 cents, but I haven't given it up since 2021. That is not late, brother. I came in 10 months ago. So you are not late. I am late. I just happen to be just insane enough with the ADHD deep dive thing to be able to do the amount of research required to feel convicted to make a channel and help people across the finish line that are already damaged. Midwest is in the house, guys. Midwest blue color. Good to see you, brother. The blind ones don't realize the conspiracy and the real agenda of Davos is all the same thing. Yeah, it's all connected. Beef bourguignon. Yep. The meal served at the White House when a good deal has been made has been served every time that Brad Garlinghouse goes to the White House. Interesting. But you want to know what David and Mike would say to that on the Node Network? They would say that's speculation. Speculation. New mom, Turbo Nurple, Moneymaker. Turbo Nurple is such a name. I love saying it. Now I'm curious. Uphold debit card. Yeah, right. I know. I wish I had had that. Fab, question on this debit card. If I get it, I see you pay $99 annually. Question on this debit card. I get it. I see you pay $99 annually. That's a small fee to me for what they're doing. If it is what, well, Moneymaker said it, so it's true. Both not XRP. You can't trust the general narrative of the government to see XRP. That's true. Fab, does it also give rewards on XRP purchases? What if I spend $1,000 in my savings buying XRP? Will I get an extra 40? That's a good question. That'd be a good question for Uphold. Let's see if Moneymaker knows. Double dip, put your spend on a cashback card, 2% pay it off through Walmart, pay services, using Uphold debit card, 3%, that $50 worth of XRP of every $1,000. Yeah, okay, well, apparently I should have had that months ago, so I will look into that now, even though I think we're in the last month. Very cool. Patty, I'm so thankful that God calculated it with my stupidity too. Me too, Patty. If God had not calculated my stupidity into my plan, I'd have nothing. And instead, I have a beautiful home by sheer luck. I have a beautiful wife. I don't know why I did this for wife. W. I have I have 2 gorgeous babies. Ridiculous. I have XRP. I have my YouTube family of Easy XRP Army. God gave me an amazing life, even though I fucked everything up. I could not have done more things wrong if I tried. And God still loves me enough to give me an amazing life. And I'm grateful every day for it. And so I cannot thank you guys enough for being a part of this channel. So Bullicus, if you had enough XRP to join Jake's DAG, would you join or just holding cold storage for complete control? I would only join DAG for storage if I had enough to where I could put half in there. I would trust putting half in there, having half in cold storage, because that doubles your odds of success of, securing your XRP. But I would not put my entire bag in there yet, because there is going to be an event called, for 1, the Great Wealth Transfer, for 2, the Great Reset. And during those events, there are going to be cyber attacks and blackouts, and could even be like crazy government sanctions and stuff like that. So you are basically going to want to bury your cold wallets in the backyard and put them into Faraday cages when that happens. And that is why I'm not 100% whether or not, institutional custody survives that. There's also some clauses in the Clarity Act trying to force people into institutional custody from their cold storage. And that makes me ask 1,000 questions. So if you have enough, let's say right now they're doing a promotion. You can put 25,000 XRP in Digital Ascension Group. And you also have to pay a fees on that. And you also have to have an LLC. So if you had 50,000 XRP, you're like, I could put 25,000 in DAG, do it. Not financial advice, but I would feel comfortable doing that. But if you have, let's say, like 10,000 XRP or 5,000 XRP, I wouldn't be trying to build up to put in there just to throw your whole bag in there, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. The cold storage will have a value to it 5 to 10 years from now, for sure. So that's my thoughts on that. Love Jake Claver. Love the group. Hope they're real. Hope they're as real as they look and seem. And yeah, pray about it. That's another thing that you could pray about it too. Midwest, blue color. So 2,000 is a good number, hopefully a great number. 2,000 is a fantastic number. That'd be like saying today, I wonder if 2,000 is a good amount of Bitcoin to hold today. Yeah, it's fine. For land, self-custody is the best. No third party to hold your crypto. Yeah, I agree with that too. Moneymaker XRP, I get about $500 total in XRP a month for free using that method. Gosh dang it. I should have done that sooner. I'll probably try to get that set up and start doing that now, but I should have done that sooner. Cans backwards. Can't tell you how many things I've done wrong in my life, guys, including that. Triple Nopal, new mom, it doesn't work on crypto purchases. Forlan, remember, not your keys, not your crypto. Very smart. Lionel, really? You guys got jobs? Yeah, we're real people, Lionel. Triple Nopal, I can't pay my mortgage with it either. Yeah, there's certain little tricks you can't do with it, but yeah, it's pretty cool that it exists. They're accountable, and God is the judge, 1000%. Same thing for Lionel. Let's see here. Where's that last comment? Patty says, I don't to write the number of the amount of my XRPs. Not that they'll search for it in my garden. Nice. I hope you have a beautiful garden. That's pretty cool. Gucci Clarity, your voice is just getting louder and reaching more and more ears. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for what you do. It's needed, and you're calling. I appreciate you, Gucci Clarity. It's super kind of you to say that, and it also helps me because it's confirmation I'm doing like what I'm supposed to be doing, and God's given me plenty of confirmation that I'm supposed to continue this. And my wife doesn't even like my YouTube channel, but I told her, I was like, this is bigger than crypto. This has become something bigger than, just talking about crypto. And that's still all she thinks it is. She has no idea the conversations we have on here. Cerbolicus, new mom, I have the Gemini credit card and love the 3% back. 1 month was 5% XRP back on any purchase. Damn, that would have been nice. Bull's not. I hope this meeting tomorrow is meat and potatoes and not cotton candy. I want some real substance, don't we all? Not cotton candy. Triple Nurple, I also get XRP rewards with the Gemini XRP MasterCard. I pay it off with RLSD for instant settlement. You are turpling some nurples there, my friend. New mom, no crypto purchases. Well, screw it. I'm kidding. Yeah, right. Cerbolicus, I tell my wife that XRP on Kraken Pro is just our other savings account. Smart. Because it is. Even though it fluctuates, I mean, it's going to be infinitesimally huger than 0.01% on a savings account. Triple Nurple, new mom, everyone has to buy food. Yeah, that's true. Still got to eat, guys. New mom, Moneymaker, that is so awesome. Such a smart investment and way to make your money work for you. Yeah. Moneymaker, I pay my mortgage, car note, credit cards, and all my monthly spend, about 5,000 total through that credit card. Walmart upholds ready. That is sweet. I wish I had had the time to like think about stuff like that, but I'll tell you this much. I came here to this space. And I think God convicted me not only to be an XRP holder, but also to be, like you guys joke about me being like the shepherd of this community on YouTube. God sent me here for more than just to hold XRP. Like he sent me here to share some of my thoughts that I had about, conspiracy theories and how it all connects to like, this plan for the New World Order and like the XRP and stuff like that. So I think that like I've accepted the fact that my calling was greater in that regard for myself, as to not just be like a person that holds 1 million XRP, but to also help other people hold XRP. And I think that's really cool. It's a really cool way for God to use me, and I will be more than comfortable with my XRP. And I made my parents, semi-whales in XRP, and so I'm not worried about it. But it would have been cool to stack at 15 cents, that's for sure. And I think we all get stuck in our heads that would have been really cool. But, also had to be dragged through the mud for 9 years, which would have sucked. Yeah, Moneymaker, it's freaking free. Yeah, very well said. Edward Ponder, it's funny that interpret the holdups on activation as mocking, etc., which I'm sure is true. Elite will laugh at guys like Dave for his ignorance, but especially is taking the time, correct price for clean activation. Yeah, they will be laughed at in the future, and I don't want that for them. And it sucks. Like I'm trying to warn them, but they just cannot see it. Moneymaker XRP, same money spent, just a different way to pay it, and I get about $500 a month for free in XRP. That's dope, dude. That's dope. I should have done that a long time ago. I didn't know that was a thing. Edward Ponder, but yeah, as you say, Chris, there's the occult layer too. Yeah, it's all connected. I mean, that's why I got like upset when the Node Network was saying that like all I talk about is smoke signals and the stars and conspiracies. I was like, that is not true. I know everything else about XRP and crypto. I just happened to tell you those things on their debate because I thought they were ready for like a 3-hour debate. I was just getting going. I was just about to tell them all the reasons Ripple is going to be used and why Ripple will use XRP, and they cut me off. So they can't act like they can talk about what I know because they cut me off after an hour. So they can't act like they know what I'm talking about. New mom, I'm a Gemini. I should look into this card you speak of. Nice. XRP FLYA. I'm just a goofy oil field worker that dumped loads of hourly wages at XRP 5 years ago. That will be the most powerful thing you've ever done, though, my friend. But my girlfriend and pups love me and are ready for me to fly back home to Arizona and never have to leave. Yeah. Then I will say this. This is not financial advice. This is not me calling anything. The next time you fly home, XRP FLYA, you will not have to go back to the oil fields. And that is just my conviction. Bradley Carter, what's up, punks? Nice. What's up, Bradley? Moneymaker Chris, put me on right now so I can break it down for everyone. I would love to. Give me a second here. New mom, currently hovering my mouse over the timeout option next to line. No, I'm kidding. And actually, Moneymaker, this would be a perfect time for you to come on and explain the whole debit card thing, because where are you? Because I could then go take a piss. Moneymaker, can you join the PZ Moneymaker group that Nelzoni is in? What's up, Nelzoni? We were just, let's see here. How do I, okay, here we go. Do you mind if I mute you for a minute, Nelzoni? Just because we're going to have Moneymaker come in. And we are going to have him on the live here real quick. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, I'm here, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, why don't you give them the whole debit card thing, because I want to do that now, and I'm going to go take a piss.
No worries, man.
And maybe
right,
put your
so-
mask on and put your camera on so that they have something to the YouTubes to watch if you can. If
Okay,
not,
1 second then.
yeah. No pressure, but it just helps the YouTubes for people that have the attention span of a goldfish to say, oh, I'm actually watching somebody talk rather than just a screen.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds, man. I'm putting it on now. Okay. Let's see here. There we are. So anyway, the best way that I found to do this is to have a credit card with a zero balance on there. It's got enough credit limit for you to put all your monthly spend through there. So your groceries, your gas, your utility bills, everything that you can possibly put on there, put on your credit card. Obviously, you want to pay that off at the end of the month. So you put your money into the Uphold debit card. You take it over to Walmart, and they have a pay services there, and you pay that credit card off with your Uphold debit card. Some things you cannot charge to your credit card, like maybe, like in my case, the mortgage or my car note. But I've taken the statements there to Walmart, and I'm able to pay them there with the Uphold debit card. So the first credit card that you have, you're getting cash back on that. Each card is different. Some have higher rewards for different categories. Some are just like 2% across the line. I try to use those that are 2% across the line, so it doesn't matter what category, because the other ones are capped. But you're getting 2%, and that's cash back in fiat dollars, which you can then cash out and turn into XRP. And then whatever you pay with your Uphold debit card is automatic. As long as you select that you want XRP as your rewards, that's automatically turned into XRP. You get 3 or 4% on that. Forget what it is. They used to have it too. If you had direct deposit there, you get more. It may be that way in some places, depending on where you are. In my particular place, that's no longer the case. But yeah, that's what it is in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But yeah, you're getting 3-4% on the Uphold. You're getting another, 2% or whatever on your credit card, and all those combined adds up to a couple $100 a month and free XRP. I mean, you can't beat free.
Dude, I should have been doing that a long time ago.
you know, at the end of the year, you're looking at a couple grand in XRP, and it's, like I said, it's free, man. So I highly recommend every single person here that possibly can do that. And that's just on top of whatever money you set aside just for XRP, but it's a free way to do what you normally do anyway, which is live your life. You know, you got to pay for dinner, you got to pay for gas and all that kind of stuff, and earn XRP off of it.
I love it, dude. I appreciate you coming on and saying that. Do you have any other thoughts on your mind from today's live?
Man, you know me, I'm just enjoying the show, just like everyone else, man. I really love what I love about you, though, man, is your humor, and that you keep everything connected to what's true in life, man. And there's a source above us, whatever you want to call that source. Me and you, I think, let's say it's God and Jesus, you know, the Holy Spirit. Others will say whatever, but you know, at the end of the day, we're all human, and we're all here to help our fellow humans, and some do that more so and some do that less so, but I think that's the real reason why we were made aware of XRP. And I'm pretty sure most people see it. They may not believe it because it's so unbelievable. It's hard to really wrap your head around and fully realize what's happening. But I think, you know, like I said, that it's the reason why we were made aware. And I know in my soul, without verifiable facts that are on Yahoo Finance, that
the deep dives,
that XRP Army is going to come together in a big way and do some big things that help humanity and honor God at the same time, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I share that same sentiment. Like, I feel like the channel was created originally because I was convicted to help people that hadn't seen it maybe be able to see it, and then it evolved into where it was like people that had already seen it but were beat up and dragged through the mud for years. All of a sudden, they're like coming on and telling me like, oh, like, yeah, this channel is for me. And I was like, oh shit. Like, so now we've got people that like have been in the trenches for years coming to the channel. I was like, okay, so phase one of Easy XRP Easy Army is we all make it across the finish line, whatever that means. Phase two is very exciting to me because phase two is post price appreciation. Okay, we all made it across the finish line. Now what the fuck do we do? Like, that's phase two of Easy XRP Easy Army, and I can't wait for that.
Absolutely, man. That's going to be the fun part. It's going to be, you know, as that video you were sharing earlier, you know, it's going to be kind of scary in some ways because it's going to be kind of a Mad Max world. You know, when they say there's a K-shaped economy and the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, you know, I've been to third world countries before, and it's pretty, you know, it's sad when you're having, you know, some tacos and these kids come up that have nothing and they're trying to sell you some bubble gum for a penny or two, you know, and then like the waiter's trying to shoo them out of there because they don't have anything, man.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like that in certain places here in America, man. I mean, in first world countries, it's going to be like that. And it's going to be very easy to have a target on your back if you flaunt your wealth around and you don't have a plan for it, to keep it safe, to grow it, and to find ways to actually help people. And I think that's where the Army is going to really kick in. And we're you know, I'm not the most creative person, but there's a lot of people out there that are very creative, and we're going to find ways to make good things happen. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's funny you say you're not very creative, and you're the one out there taking your debit card and your credit card and getting like XRP on the back end, like 6 different ways, and then like, you know, logging for the win on XRP. You're like, I would say you're partially creative.
Fair point, but I mean, I come from a background. Remember, I said that I come from a background of finance, and I was doing mortgages, so I was helping people with their credit, and then I got into, you know, using credit cards to for the rewards and whatnot. So it became, this is just like up my, you know, it's in my wheelhouse. It's up my alley, man. It's just an easy, something that came easy to me.
So what are your thoughts on the fact that, because, you know, you were in mortgage and finance, what are your thoughts that, like, I've been told by several people and sources, and I've heard people say that the real estate, like as we know it, like the whole market is going to like be repriced and crash. And then commercial real estate has been struggling for like years now. And it's not really like something that's talked about a ton. Like what happens to the economy when that gets compounded with the Japanese reverse carry trade? Like what happens in that moment?
You know, here's the thing. I've been screaming about this for probably about 4 years now. That exactly what you just said is going to happen, and I would say I don't think I'm wrong. I think I'm absolutely 100% correct. The only thing I'll say is the Fed has taken steps to prolong that from happening, because I was there back in 2008. I remember the great financial crisis. I was doing mortgages back then. I remember I was making $110,000 a month, and then it went down to 10,000, and then it went down to 1,000.
Wow.
It affected me directly, and
those are some numbers, dude. What did you feel emotionally when that happened?
Holy shit. Excuse my language, but
yeah, because I never swear on my channel.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it was jaw dropping, and you know, everyone thought it would never end. I was young and naive and just went along with that thought and didn't really think much of it. I was making the money, everything was great, and all of a sudden it just dropped off a cliff. And you know, anyway, long story short, not about me and what happened, but you know, that 2008 financial crisis, all they did was they did a $700 billion bailout, and it's basically amounts to a Band-Aid. They kicked the can down the road, and it's due to happen again. And now I look at real estate, and normally when you go to sell a house, especially in spring and summer, a house will sit on the market for about 30, maybe 60 days. Right now, they're sitting on the market like 6 to 8 months. And even with price cuts along the way of 10, 20, 30%, depending on where you're at in the country, the houses just aren't selling. And they have a way to track how many applications for to buy a home or to refinance a home are in, and the applications stats are way down right now. And then to add more fuel to the fire, the commercial real estate market, they all refinanced back in the coronavirus days when interest rates were at, you know, near zero, and they only get like 5 to 7 year loans because they're typically in and out of commercial real estate. And now they have to refinance with a higher interest rate, much higher than what they had back in the Corona days. And their occupancy, the amount of people they have renting those places, has gone down 50% from what they had. So a lot of them are going to go into foreclosure. And when that happens, you know, I know Trump's trying to do everything he can not to let that happen, but it's how long can they keep the Band-Aid on there before everything kind of falls apart?
Yeah, it's all Band-Aids.
And so it is, man. It's literally stitched together with bubble gum and duct tape right now. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen long ago, and it hasn't happened yet. But it's not getting better. It's just barely struggling to keep its head above water is what I see.
I'm getting a feeling, and I wonder if you have the same feeling, that they've been buying time and timing that to line up with this whole shenanigans. like that we've been talking about. That's like XRP, the Great Financial Reset. Like, what if they've been hanging on and duct taping this whole situation just long enough to add to the collapse of the Great Financial Reset?
You know, what do they say? Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
Yep.
So I would not put it past that being all coordinated. You know, it's all interconnected. The world is a stage, and you know, it's like kabuki theater, man. They say one thing, they do another. You know, they'll put the shiny object in front of you so you can talk and look at that, talk about it and look at it. But what's going on behind the scenes, they don't show. It's behind closed doors.
You know what's funny is I was on the Node network today, just in the chat, because XRP FLYA had said like, hey, they're talking about XRP, and so I went in there with them, and we had like literally a third of their viewers was XRP Army just talking shit. And I go in there, and they said that the reason they didn't want me to debate the CEO of Canton was because all I talk about is like smoke signals and conspiracy and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I brought that up because I wanted you guys to get it, but I still thought I had another 2 to 3 hours to debate them. I would have brought up other facts and details if I had thought that they were going to cut me off after 45 minutes. And so the funny thing is like they say like, you know, all I am is talking about that kind of shit. I'm like, but Brad Garlinghouse posted on X like what, a year or two ago, like when the SEC lawsuit got settled, he posted a tattoo that takes up his entire arm with the planets lining up and Saturn. I'm like, okay, are you gonna just say like, you know, I'm gonna ignore that they look into that stuff, like the powerful elites like Brad Garlinghouse?
Yeah, no, it's nothing to ignore. And you know, I see things in a slightly different way. I know for a fact XRP is going to be it's going to be the cornerstone. It's going to be the main, like if you're looking at an arch and you have that one brick in the middle that's different shaped and bigger than the rest of the bricks that make up the arch. That's what XRP is going to be, but there's going to be other cryptos that support it and do different functions. I truly believe that Canton's going to be one of them. HBAR, Quant, XLM, you know, a few of those, XPR, XDC, Flare, SHX, Ondo. You know, those are all going to be a part of this new system. Even the ones that I don't really care for, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, they're going to have their place. I just think that the ROI is going to be significantly different for XRP than for the rest of them. The rest of them are going to be kind of like stocks, and XRP is going to have this repricing that just goes insane.
Yeah, and I agree 1,000%. Like I've been trying to like scream from the rooftops on my channel, like, look, I am not against other tokens. Like I'm not. I don't care really about crypto in general. Like I've used it to see their plan, but like I agree that there's going to be probably like 20 to 100 other tokens that are going to be used in the new system. And I just know that they have a pre-planned event to power on XRP because they know how much liquidity that's going to take. They know how dramatic that move is going to be. And so I want to ride that move first, make sure I don't miss that. And then I'll treat the rest of the coins like a buffet. And I'll be picking up XTC here, Canton here, like XLM here. Like, you know, because then it's kind of like, well, I don't know what else is going to be used. You know, I know these 10 have a really good shot, but then these other 10, like maybe will be used. And so that's why it's like when David and Mike and the Node Network, they're talking about Canton and stuff like that. I don't care that they're talking about Canton. I'm not against Canton, but I am against them saying that this pre-planned event is not going to happen with XRP, because then people are going to miss the main move. It'd be like when the NASA space shuttle takes off to go wherever it goes, because it doesn't actually go to space, and they have that huge booster that launches. And that huge booster is designed to take them out of the atmosphere. And then the other two boosters that they have, you know, were just designed to help get it out of the atmosphere. I'm like, I want to know what that huge booster is.
Yeah, you know, it's 100%. And it is going to be coordinated. It's 100% on that. You know, you hear them talking about the Great Reset, the leveling of the playing field. Why are they all using that same terminology? I think, exactly like you said, it has everything, or not, maybe not everything, but a huge part to do with what's happening with Japan. I mean, hell, we bailed out Japan just recently. What the hell is that? And that was just a postponing of this coordinated collapse. And, it's going to take us away from being a world reserve currency, and then that status is going to be bestowed upon XRP.
Yep.
And they need that. The central banks need that because of what that world reserve currency does. It causes us to inflate while holding trade deficits. And they don't want to give that status to anyone else because then they're just going to have the same old problem. So they got to have a neutral currency that's not owned or it's not powered by any specific country.
Yeah, like there's gold that's XAU, there's silver that's XAG, and then there's Ripple, which has XRP. So I'm like, they are commodities. One is digital, and they are commodities designed with the designation to be neutral liquidity, assets that can be used as a liquidity pool in the grand schemes of the new system. And so if you see it that way, you look at it that way, you're like, okay, I see that gold is XAU when they trade. I see that silver is XAG when they trade. I see that Ripple is XRP when they trade XRP. So, okay, you can make the connection right there. And then you're like, okay, so they're going to use XRP as to try to create like this neutral, decentralized, global liquidity pool, which is a very powerful statement in its own. And then you have Larry Fink come out from BlackRock, and he's like, I can't talk about XRP. It'd be like if Larry Fink came out and said, I can't talk about gold. I mean, do you know what kind of like an uprising that would cause?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's obvious. It's obvious to anyone that has eyes to see, man, that they're hiding it. They're hiding it in plain sight. They can't talk about it because they don't want you to get in before they do and be in their country club with them with your little red hat that says "Make America Great Again."
Oh yeah, which we will.
And tell them these new world orders to go fuck themselves.
Oh yeah,
they
don't want that.
So, and especially, God forbid, if you say the name of Jesus and say he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but by him, then they really hate you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought my channel would get a lot more hate than it did. We almost have no hate on this channel. It's just people that are seeing this for what it is and vibing with like the message, and then understanding that like, like, hey, this is bigger than DeFi. This is bigger than decentralized. I'll just read this comment here on YouTube. Patty says, the way I was led to your channel, Chris, was through a comment in a comment on YouTube. I needed to hear what you have to say. You know how awesome that is? Because I'm out here cursing like a sailor, and I apologize if some of you are sensitive to like swear words. I think God has a sense of humor, and there may come a day when God convicts me not to swear anymore, but for now it's part of my personality, and I'm just weird. But to have somebody like Patty come on and say that is just like a confirmation to me that's like, okay, we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're being ourselves. We're out here in XRP Army, and we're just like, we're all ready to go. And it's like we're right across the finish line now. And when it happens, I think it's just going to be a surreal, like 30-day period of time. And we're all trying to like re-find ourselves.
Yeah. That's the like I said, one of the main things that I loved about you right from the very get-go, man. One, you had a great sense of humor, and two, you always kept it, like there's more to this than just getting rich and crypto. Yeah, sure, that's all great, but if you realize, like, I'm a numbers guy, I look into the numbers. I'm just thinking, okay, if XRP hits this number, if XRP hits 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is, And I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, okay, multiply that times what you own, and then multiply that times 10%, because that's what you're going to get in interest per year. And then you can kind of figure out where you're going to be. So I always looked at the numbers, and I'm thinking, okay, now what can I do with that? And my point to all that is that you're going to have, if you have any like 1,000 or more XRP, you're going to have so much freaking money that, yeah, you're going to have all the toys that you want. And there's going to come a point where you're still earning money. You haven't sold any of it. Your bank account's still growing. And it's like, what do you do with that money after you've taken care of your family, you've taken care of your friends, you got a helicopter, a yacht, and a Lambo? I mean, you're not going to go buy another yacht and another Lambo. It's stupid. So at a certain point, you got to do something with it other than, at least in my heart, man, I got to do something with that money that's going to help people's lives in a significant way. That's what's on my heart, man. And I'm gonna partner up with as many people that are of like minds that I can to make as big of an impact as I can.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying all that, because it's so true. Like listening to your spirit and stuff like that. I'm reading a comment right now from Midwest Blue Collar 420, and he says, "It's so dark, it took me 2 years to accept." And for me, like in my conspiracy journey, like I told people on my channel, like, yeah, it's helpful now that I can piece all the pieces together from my conspiracy journey of 16 years and be able to see the one world reserve currency for what it is, an XRP, and that they're not going to use another ledger. It's easy for me to see that now, and that's cool. But what the price I had to pay to get to that level, to see, like, it's all very dark. There was 5 to 6 years I was living in depression because it was so dark that, like, you almost wouldn't want to handle it or know it. And so when people are like, "Oh, let's see your notebook," I'm like, you only want to see the tip of the iceberg for my notebook. You only want to see, like, the stuff in my mind, like the stuff that's like related to crypto and XRP and the fact that it's a one world reserve currency and all pre-planned. That's all you want to know. Everything else deeper than that is like stuff you don't want to know. You don't want to know that they already have giants roaming the earth and that they're going to release them. You don't want to know that the reason they shut off the Hadron Collider and CERN was so that they could build it stronger 3 years from now and reopen it and try to really rip open some portals, because they intend for spiritual warfare to fight Jesus when he comes back. And they have been planning for hundreds of years to do so. And so, yeah, if you think life is going to get hard, like you think like life is going to be hard because, like, oh, you don't have enough money for this, or life is going to be hard because of famine, or life is going to be hard because of disease, or life is going to be hard because of X and Y reasons, you don't even know what's coming. And I'm telling you what's coming. I'm like, you want to have the armor of God. You want to have financial armor, and you want to have XRP, because this is way bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, all you have to do is read the book of Revelations or Matthew chapter 24. You can see what's coming. All those things, they now have the technology, man. I mean, we're coming into the era where Daniel talked about knowledge will increase and keep increasing, or something to that extent. I'm paraphrasing. But, with agentic AI and super intelligence, I mean, people have no idea what's coming in the next 5 years. We only have, as Paul said, we look through rose-colored glasses. We see little bits and pieces of it, but to truly picture what it's going to be like at the time and understand it, it's hard to wrap your head around. With no jobs and 10 robots for every one person, and very possibly, I'm like Thomas, I doubt until I see, but very possibly, genetic manipulation and the Nephilim return and stuff like that. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me at all, man.
And I'll tell you this, like, I was at the movies with my wife and a couple friends, and I've told them about XRP, and they know I'm a conspiracy theorist. And one of them, he's not a believer in Christ. He actually, he leans more agnostic. And so it's we're good friends, but it's not easy to talk about certain things. But, like when I brought up to him, I told him, I said, mark my words. I was like, we were watching the Odyssey, and there was a 40-foot Cyclops, that the army had to fight, or Odysseus had to fight with his crew. And then there was like another island that they landed on that had like 100 giants that were just maybe 12 feet tall in suits of armor. I was like, okay, if they had just done the Cyclops, or if they had just done the Island of Giants, that would have been one thing. But the fact that they brought out a Cyclops that was 40 feet tall and had him cannibalistic and eat people, and then they had him land on an island where there was like 100 soldiers that were 12 feet tall with armor. I was like, they are trying to pre-program you and get you prepared for what they're about to unleash on the earth. I told them, mark my words. I was like, you will see giants in your life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. On one end, I certainly hope not, but on the other end,
right?
I got something for them if they come.
Right? Yeah. Like, I don't want to see that. That's why I've told people on my channel, like, I don't want to be right about half this shit. I don't want to be right about half this shit. But I mean, this stuff is coming, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah.
I come from a military family, man. My father was in Vietnam. My grandfather was in World War II. So I got that spirit of we got to stay off the grid and independent and strong all at the same time, man. Like, I'm going to fight for my family. I'm going to fight for those that I don't know, but that are decent people that, need the help. And, it's kind of like protecting regular people from bullies, and that's the way I look at it. That's all they got. It's all the devil got is he can huff and he can puff, but we're going to blow his house down.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I feel like I just got like a feeling because I'm reading comments and stuff like that. And I want to say that, like, this has been an amazing live 2.5 hours, and I didn't expect it to go this long. But I will say this. I meant everything that I said in this video. I always appreciate all the comments. I always appreciate Moneymaker coming on. And Moneymaker, you have a lot of value to add to this space. And so I hope that you make your own channel too, because there's things that people need to hear that Moneymaker has to say that Easy XRP will miss. Or you might say it in a different way to where, like, your channel requires you to say it in a certain way. And so, like, I hope that you continue on and continue to make your own channel and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's been an awesome live hanging out with you guys all. And I think that we got our point across in 2.5 hours. And I feel like we can end on these notes, understanding that, like the title says, you were chosen in this moment in time for whatever reason, doesn't matter whether you agree or not, to be a part of this wealth transfer. And if you hold XRP, and some of you are probably going to be holding physical silver, some of you are probably going to be holding like something else, utility tokens or whatever. And there's all these, things that God intends for the wealth transfer. And if you were chosen to be part of the wealth transfer, God is going to use you in miraculous ways. God is going to change your life forever. And it is not because you're worthy, not because you deserve it, not because you're good at business, not because you're even good with money, just because He sees your heart. God sees who you are, who you're meant to be, and you are going to start the second phase of your life the second XRP takes off. And I hope that you guys pray that you're ready for it. Pray for the armor of God and pray a hedge of protection around your family, because we are entering a time of which no one will be able to understand, no one will even believe. And when all these things start to come upon the earth and all these things start to happen, people will be wondering, why didn't anyone tell me? Well, we did. We did tell you if you were looking to hear it, and the Node Network wasn't looking to hear it. Any final thoughts, Moneymaker?
Yeah. No, I think you said it well, man, right there. I'll add one more thing, and this is, you say it way better than I do, man, but just as a reminder, Sandy Cole, the head of Franklin Templeton's digital assets, she said there's 400 trillion waiting to get in. We're at a $2 trillion market cap. Guys, you don't know what's coming, but it's going to be massive, an absolute tsunami. And so do everything you can to get as much as you can. Don't put your rent money in there. Keep it safe. Put it in cold storage, but spread it out. Have some in institutional custody, an IRA, Roth IRA, whatever. And, cut some grass, take care of your families, all that good stuff, man.
Very well said, man. You're spitting fire right there. So love you all. Thanks for being part of the live. Thanks for being part of the channel. And subscribe if you haven't, because it helps people find the algorithm. But until next time, I think we've covered today's topic, I think. So thanks for being on, Moneymaker.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Love you, brother.
Yeah, love you too, brother.